Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy No-E and Belz. We are the podcast Let's Grab a Drink.
Yeah, well, tonight we're interviewing our good friend Lix1000, music producer. And
What's up?
Thanks for having us over at your home, at your studio. I'm impressed, and I have lots of questions.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. This is pretty cool, man. Like in the studio, you built it pretty much, right? I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
You retrofitted a room to become a studio.
Yeah, to whatever I needed it for. I mean, it's mainly we record vocals in here, but yeah, it works for us.
It is cool. Okay, when it comes to the phones, you get to choose the colors and...
Yeah, it's just
how
off
much
of Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pick your colors and like whatever you want.
Okay.
It's just red and black is like what I like.
Yeah, that's one thing I would like too. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's cool. I wonder if you had any power behind the color choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that I was mentioning, I was like, I'm gonna sound really dumb because I have no idea what anything is with music producing, man.
Yeah. Everything really nowadays is compact to your laptop. Like
Okay.
back in the day, like you would go into somebody's studio. Like I remember when I first started learning, the guy I learned from who mentored me like had hardware everywhere.
What kind of hardware?
Like keyboards, drum machines, like cables going everywhere. And then like with technology now, like it's now down to your laptop. Like it's really all you need. Like, you can make beats wherever you want. You can edit vocals wherever you want.
Even on a tablet.
Even on a tablet, yeah. I have a buddy of mine who's a producer too. He makes beats on an iPhone.
Wow.
Like, yeah, an iPod, I'm sorry. He has a small iPod that looks like the iPhones,
Yeah.
and that's where he makes beats. I've made beats on a tablet.
How?
Programs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the software that exists nowadays. Like, you're able to be so compact, like, you're not confined to any space.
Is there a specific program, or are there several? Like,
There's
go-tos?
There's different programs that exist out there. Like, I know the one that he uses and the one I've used is called Machine.
Okay.
It's pretty popular. They have like your standard hardware that you would use like in a home studio or a professional studio, and they also have like the on-the-go apps that actually links. If you have that specific software on your laptop, you can start a project on your phone or on your tablet, and then you can pick it back up in your computer, like your home studio, if you wanted to.
Pick up where you left off.
Pick up where you left off.
How long have you been doing it anyway,
Put a
man?
plug in on for them. Plug them in. They owe me some money.
Yeah, there you go. Sponsorship.
I
How
got receipts.
How long have I been doing it? I started like experimenting, like making beats probably when I was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
I'm 31
I was gonna say, like, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm 31 now, so yeah, it's been a while.
What got you
Half
into
your
it?
life,
I mean,
man.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Because you were talking about back in the day and the equipment. So did you went through that?
Yeah. I actually started at church.
Okay.
We still have it actually.
Cool.
It's a big like 88 key keyboard that actually takes floppy disk. You put floppy disk into
I
it.
remember in church. Is that the kind of thing where like it had a bunch of like switches up on the left hand side where you could like change the sound?
Well, it's similar. You could
Okay.
change the sounds. You could scroll through different sounds, strings, and
For those who don't know what floppy disk is,
Oh, a floppy disk is like this little square, like an older version of it. The first USB drive, I guess, is the best way I can describe it.
See, us millennials know what it is.
caught in the
Sorry
middle.
for y'all youngins.
Yeah.
I hate being called a millennial.
I don't mind it because we're actually not that bad as the next generation.
Well, actually, you know what? I think like our generation, like 30s, like we're stuck. We're like the millennial goes back even to like what, mid-20s right now.
Yeah, it's like mid-20s on up.
Yeah, and so like 30s and that stuff is kind of caught between
Yeah.
whatever millennials is and like Generation X.
X,
is it?
yeah.
Right? So we're like caught right in
Is
between.
it X or Y?
X, I think.
X, because
Yeah.
when we were,
It's like
in
baby
elementary,
boomers, Generation X, and then like millennials, and then whatever
we are
the youngins are.
Oh,
Generation Y. That's what I'm saying. The
Oh.
new ones are Generation Y.
Oh, are
yeah.
I didn't know.
Which is like what they refer to as Tide Pod kids and stuff like that.
Type.
I know, it sounds bad because even millennials, we're given bad connotations too. But
that's what I connected with. When I hear millennials, that's the kind of stuff I think about. And it's like, oh, wow.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I deserve everything. That's what I think.
Oh,
when I think-
entitlement?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, our generation, that's what we're known for. Entitlement. We want, the best job, the best healthcare, the best this, the best that. And it's funny because like the generation before us complains about us. We complain about the other ones, and then so on, so on, so on.
It's a
You know what?
cycle.
You say that because like sometimes I'll sit there and like listen to something and I want to complain and I stop myself because I'm like, oh my god, that sounds like my mom.
You mentioned that. You mentioned with the noise level. Like, why is it so loud? Or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Nah, but like
Get
on.
off my lawn.
Stay off my freaking grass. Like Friday.
Yeah.
Nah, but like that's how I started with like it's a big old keyboard, and like on there you could actually sequence. So I learned, plus I was in band, so like I already knew what a 4-bar measure was.
Right.
So I learned.
Shout out to the band geeks. We're
Yeah.
all band
Right.
geeks right here.
Yeah, my saxophone somewhere in here.
Saxophone? Oh man.
Oh boy.
Oh, we're
Hey,
woodwinds.
Yo,
No, we're not. No,
My bad. Yeah.
Are y'all woodwinds?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a reed, right?
Reed, yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm a woodwind too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Would you play clarinet?
Yes, don't say it like that, man. Put some respect on it. What the? Oh man, I thought I liked him.
Yeah, you're one of those guys.
Hey, at
I
least you didn't play
hate
flute.
y'all.
At least you didn't play flute.
I didn't play. Yeah, you're right. Whatever. That was like a pity.
Might as well play flute, didn't you?
Anywho, so you got the experience in the band. Okay.
Well, I got like I guess like musical knowledge or theory.
Introduction to
Yeah,
it.
in
Was that
band.
at 14 or is that before?
That was a little before. It was like 6th grade, but it was almost like around the same time. And so like I learned how to sequence on that thing. Like I learned how to make loops, basically 8-bar
Okay.
loops, and that's honestly like the way I describe making beats is like making a puzzle. You start out with a loop, and then you expand on it. You elaborate on it,
Okay.
and you create a song. But after that, actually the guy who mentored me, like who taught me and stuff like that, he actually invited me over to his house one day, and he had like all the stuff. So I was like a little kid. I was like, oh my god! And he was just like, hey, make a beat.
Just like that.
Yeah, he was like, make a beat. And I started making the beat, and he was like, all right, stop. He was like, all right, you understand. Like, okay, I get it. So from there, he started teaching me, like, you know, drum selection, like how to, just different tricks and tools of the trade and stuff like that. And there is where I picked up a lot of knowledge. And then actually had another buddy who gave me software, and that's when like I upgraded to just like having a laptop. Well, no, I take that back. I actually bought like a computer, and like I bought speakers. I bought a whole little setup for
Your little
myself.
system.
Yeah, and then
Do you still have any of that setup?
nah, I don't have any of that stuff. I wish I
That'd be
did.
cool to have, yeah. Like,
It would be cool. Just like
Museum.
a piece of my own history.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nah, that's a long story, but
I think he doesn't want to talk about it.
not that part.
We got plenty of beers, or we'll be back.
No, but we might, depending where this conversation goes.
So we actually our first interview was with a DJ.
Yeah.
And we actually just put that up, so if y'all want to check it out. And we kind of touched base on that, and he has respects for producers and stuff just like us. Like, you guys, you touch base on it right now. You guys create from nothing. Like, you guys start from scratch, and I mean, DJs are a craft of its own.
Yeah, it is. It's its own art.
To start from silence to music is something incredible. What's the process like for you?
For me, I mean, I guess it really depends on like what it is that I want to do or what it is that we're trying to do. I like to work with the artist itself. Like with me and Devante, who's the main artist that I work with, it's really about like what he's going through at that point in time, what he wants to talk about. I try to capture that, but in sound. And it's hit and miss sometimes. You know, we're two completely different people. We have two mind states. We're all going through our own thing. But like when you catch it, it's dope.
That's also what makes it work even better.
Exactly. I mean, it's like a marriage. It's a relationship.
Right.
You know,
The
and
chemistry has to be on point.
Exactly. All of that.
On the same.
all of that, and you hear it through the music. Like I honestly feel like you can tell when some of it was just recorded in the studio, like somebody sent a track and like, oh, okay, this is cool, and they recorded over it, versus something that was organically done.
Okay.
And like there's times where like we'll create together. There's times where I create and he's like, hey, send me what you got,
Okay.
and we build on top of that. But yeah, I mean, as far as process goes, if I want to sample, it depends on like the song that I'm listening to that I want to sample, and then it just where I go from there. Sometimes I just start out with drums. Sometimes I have a melody in my head that I'll put down, and then it just builds.
So it's very important for you to have an artist already.
For me personally,
like you don't have your own library of just like this is stuff that just dibbling dabbling.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I do.
Okay.
Like I have like a bunch of beats that like we haven't used or anything like that.
Okay.
Like I got a folder full of them. But like as far as creating wise, like I like to have purpose.
Okay.
Like with it, I guess is the best way I could describe it.
Right.
So working with an artist helps out a lot. Because you're able to see where it is that they want to go. And
also growth for you.
Yeah, exactly. You have to grow at that point in time because you're working with a different person and you're taking... They give you a description of what they want and then you bring it to life.
Right.
And I think as a producer, that's my job, like with the artist, take what it is that you want to say, what you want to convey to your audience, and put it to sound.
Yeah, help interpret what they're going through or feeling, and including you when you mixing it. And create.
I think they're intertwined. Each one is it's a vital part to each other.
Emotion,
the artist with the producer, and like producer with the artist.
Kind of like a writer and a director.
Yeah,
that is the only way I can compare it to, like speaking non-musically. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
exactly. The director is able to see what the writer put down.
Because if I'm a writer, I have a book, and you can have the top creators, but if they don't really grasp the actual meaning of the book, I don't really want to work,
And I think everything's an interpretation.
Right.
We'll sit and have conversations sometimes. And speaking, about the artist that I'm working with, speaking about Devante, like we'll sit and we'll have a conversation, and through that conversation, I can kind of gauge what he's feeling, or where we're at, or he just might call me and tell me, man, I want to rap. Like, give me a track that'll let me just like go spaz over, go off.
You already know what he's going through, so even more.
That helps. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I meant. Like when it's like a marriage, it's like a relationship.
So you almost like his therapist, because when he has something to share, you're like, here, you create the vessel for him. In
a sense, yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna be poetic.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. I guess it's cool. Like I said, it's vice versa. It goes between the two.
And y'all have a few tracks together.
Man, we have 3 albums.
Was it not going off?
We have 3 albums actually together.
3 albums.
Yeah, and we're working on our 4th.
Man, that's impressive. I went on YouTube and there's a few tracks on it.
Yeah. He's worked and done stuff before, but like since we linked up, we've put out 3 projects. We did
that's sweet.
Thus Far is the most recent one that we've done. We did February, and we also have Still Waiting, which is the first one we did.
Okay.
Which was the one that made it onto on 97.9?
Oh, that's with a different artist. Oh, he went to 97.9 for...
that's a different artist.
Yeah, it was. But he went to 97.9 for Kiati's H-Town For Real challenge. That's what he went to 97.9 for.
Okay.
The song that we had on 97.9 was with a different artist. His name's Double O.
Okay.
And that made it to the radio.
Nice.
No, yeah. So talking about how music affects people, and overall, like I think that's the biggest reward to hear somebody say, "Oh, your song got me through this time," and things like that. And you see it. Recently, you see it now, like with Nipsey Hussle's death.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, rest in peace to Nipsey. But it affected so many people. To the point like you don't realize how much somebody has an effect on your life. The influence, yeah. And there was a lot of people saying that he was like our generation's Tupac. Like that's how big of an influence he had on this generation, which is, to me, it's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was just the biggest Nipsey Hussle fan, but like I did listen to his music and I knew about him. When I got the notification on my screen, I was like, oh man, nah.
Right.
Like, and so things like that, you realize how much music could actually reach people. So I think that's amazing.
is it, I guess, accurate to say that through your music, that's part of the legacy you want to leave?
Yeah, it is. One of my goals is to be able to, like, own my music, like not have, a label or somebody else own my music, but own my music, and then be able to feed my their kids through it, like leave like an estate for them to where if anybody uses my song on anything 30 years from now, we're still getting paid.
Right. Yeah. What's the process to getting that done or that, happening?
Well, if you make your own music, you own your masters until you give the rights up to somebody.
Why would somebody do that? Why would somebody sign over the rights?
I was gonna ask because
contract
we've talked about this
stipulations
before, to where what was it? Chris Brown got his master. That's what the conversation was, and I'm like, wait, what's that? What does that mean? And they're like, he owns his music,
yeah,
but it took him years for that to happen. So, or not everybody does it, which to me is like, well, if that's the compensation to owning your music, why doesn't everybody do it? I guess is my question.
I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of knowledge. Maybe it's a lack of. You gotta understand, some of these people go from having nothing to having everything, and in that process, somebody puts a stack of money in front of you, and you sign a piece of paper. You don't really understand what you're signing.
Okay.
Like within that contract, there may be a clause that says, "Hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars, but we own the rights to your masters."
Okay.
That's why, I don't know if y'all heard, but there's been like reports and like interviews that come out, and they say the artist is the lowest paid person, when it comes to music, and that's just because, like, to be honest, they get screwed over.
Right.
Like within the contract, they're given the budget, they think, oh, I'm balling, but like it's really a loan. Like, we'll give you $100,000 just to put a number out there, and you don't realize that $100,000 is going to pay for your producers, is going to pay for your studio time, is going to pay for your videos, is going to pay for your
touring and all of that.
Well, not even that, but like it's going to pay just to get the album done. You know what I mean? Out of that comes marketing, comes all of that, and then like at the end of your album, like you spend all the money. Now you're $100,000 in the hole. Your album comes out. The first $100,000 that you make goes to the label. Like, it doesn't even go to you.
What do you have in mind or in place to help you along that process?
Combat that? We are our own
his
label.
His glasses, his eyes, he can read the fine print.
Like, we are the label. Like, when it comes to, like, me and Devontae, we split everything down the middle. We put the music out ourselves. There is no middleman.
Okay.
That's the beauty of technology. You have companies now, like DistroKid, Bandcamp, and, like, SoundCloud, all these different companies that let you directly from, the creator to the consumer. There is no middleman no more. Like Jay-Z says, the Wild West really is. Like, there is no standardized form for you to do things. It used to be back in the day, the only way you were going to get your music out is if you had a huge machine backing you up.
Right.
And like, you don't need it now. You really don't. And like, the money that we make off of the projects we put out comes directly to us, and we split it down the middle.
Good.
So there isn't a person in the middle that's like, oh, I'm gonna give you this much, oh, you're gonna get this much, and I'm gonna take this much.
The first time I heard about that whole this whole complication with money is I don't know, this might sound childish here, but when Remy Ma was putting down Nicki Minaj, and she was saying, like, dude, they're pimping you out, and they're the ones getting the money. And I did see the difference when she was first going on tours, when she was big. She had so many, singles out. She was pretty big, but then the quality of her tour was like, that's weird. It was just off.
I mean,
it just made sense.
I guess it depends on each artist. Like, Nicki Minaj is a household name. Like,
it is, but you would think that she would have more money than she would actually be able to.
I mean, I don't know, like, her budget and stuff like that.
The drama was that Birdman was getting most of it. Birdman, Lil Wayne, and plus the expenses of making music.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best example I could give is like Slim Thug. When Slim Thug put out, they did a compilation album with the Boss Hog Outlaws, and they put it out through, at the time it was Koch Records. from my understanding, they had like 85 to 90% of the album done when they went to go work out a deal. So the money was already spent. What they got from that deal was money in their pocket. So it's about business. Like it's not just about creating. You know, you have to know a little bit of the business side, and that's where I think a lot of us lack at. Okay. You know, we don't, either we don't take the time, or we say we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's hard to tell with bigger artists. You know what I mean? Like a Nicki Minaj, like a Cardi B, because their influence is so huge, their reach is so far. Like, you can't really say what their contract is unless you actually know.
Right.
You know, and even the comment I made about what Slim Thug did, though it being positive, I don't truly know. I wasn't in that meeting. You know what I'm saying? This is just something that I was told by one of the engineers, just giving me game.
Right.
Like, look, this is what they did. Like, you should think about doing something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And in our situation, like, it's just two of us. Like, I do everything when it comes to production. Like, I make the beats, I record the vocals, I mix the vocals, you know what I mean? Like, he does his own writing, he does his own rapping, like, and then we put out the marketing ourselves. It's like the first project that we did together, which is Still Waiting, we ended up being a top 20 project on the Houston Press.
Cool.
That year, yeah.
Was it last year?
No, 2017.
Okay, 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 years ago. And we put no marketing behind it. We just, but we're going to make this project, we're going to put it out.
So you put it out on what?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. What's your
we put it out everywhere. Like, it's on Spotify, it's on Amazon Music, it's on Tidal, it's on SoundCloud. We put it out on SoundCloud ourselves.
Okay.
But like the distribution services, like, they put it on Apple Music, they put it on iTunes, they put it on all those platforms. But yeah, that was with no marketing whatsoever.
Cool. That's just straight audience.
Yeah, straight from us to consumer. So that was dope. And
Yeah.
we didn't shoot any videos for it.
How did that make you feel?
It was it was a confirmation,
Right.
like, for us, like, okay, we're on the right track.
Right.
Let's keep going.
We're doing something right.
Yeah. And so with this album that we're gonna put out here within the next 2 months, I think June, that's a date we're thinking, the month we're thinking. It's Omit the Logic is what it's gonna be called. You know, we're talking about marketing. Like, all right, we've put out 3 projects. Let's go over what we've missed, where we haven't hit, and, you know, in conversation we're like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do that, and that's what we're in the process of doing.
Okay.
You know, merchandise, visuals.
So the album is done?
It's done.
And the last piece is what you're saying?
Yeah, that, and like, I'm in the mixing process of it right now, like mixing the tracks and getting them, polishing them up.
You're saying it's just your laptop of equipment, man, but I see here, like, what are these things? Like, I know it's a keyboard and then the mic, but what is that? Like, they have cool buttons and stuff. I'm sorry.
This is just a surge protector.
Okay.
All this is, and this is the audio interface, which basically just, it's the middleman, I guess, between the mic and the computer.
Okay.
It also allows me to, from here, the audio go from here through here and then to my speakers.
Okay.
So I control volume here, and we record through here, it goes through here.
And since you've been 14 to now, has your equipment changed drastically, or you would say this is like your third piece of equipment, or?
I'd say this is like the second setup I've
Okay.
had. I had a similar setup before. I've never really had a lot of hardware. Like, when I started buying my own stuff, it was really a computer, my keyboard, and my speakers.
Okay.
I went from having a tower to a laptop,
Okay.
and which just made me more mobile.
Okay. And what about the mic? Like, because that looks like a nice mic. Has that been the first one, or has been several tries?
Oh, nah, I've gone through like several mics.
Would you say like 10 plus?
No.
I'm asking because, I mean, this is new for us too. You know, we jumped into this not knowing squat, not even looking at the camera. We would sit in front of each other, like his wife would team sport, you know, like sit there and help us. Like she would be the interviewee, and it was fun, but we didn't know anything about it. So as we've come along, we've adjusted some. Obviously, we're still having some technical problems.
Oh, it's all like growth. Like you learn what works for you. You learn what doesn't. The first program that I used, like when I started making beats, was a GarageBand. GarageBand comes standard with any Apple product that you buy. It's on your phone, it's on tablets, it's on the computers, and I learned how to use it. Like to the point where I put my own drums in there. I was able to sample out of there. Like, I firmly believe it's not about what you have; it's about how you use it. Like, you know, I've had people tell me like, "Oh, I wish I had a studio." I was like, "Man, I'm at home.
Right.
Like, I have a laptop, like a keyboard, and like my brain.
Right.
And, like it."
I think that applies to almost any industry, because even yesterday, for example, we were sitting down with a photographer. Again, he's been doing it for years, and he was talking about his company buying a $5,000 camera. Wow. I wouldn't know what the hell to do with a $5,000 camera. You know, like I'd do probably the same thing that I would do with my phone. It's like all the other 4,000 or 4,500 would go to waste because it's, you know.
Well, and like I said, like technology has come so far. Like, there's an artist, I can't remember his name, that sucks, but he has a program on his phone and he records his vocals on his phone. He has the only other thing he has is called a Chaotica eyeball, which basically does this, like the foam. It just goes over your mic. It's like a ball that sits over your mic.
Like a boom, not a pop filter.
Well, no, that's a pop filter.
Oh.
It's like a foam. It's a foam like dome that sits on your mic. Like your mic goes into it.
Okay.
And instead of having all this, like the foam, that's the only piece of equipment that it absorbs.
Wow.
Yeah. And so like he sticks his phone in there and he records.
Yeah.
And that's what he uses. So like that's what I say. Like, it's not about what you have; it's about how you use it. Right. Like when I first started, like I had a cracked version of I had a bootleg version of a piece of software, and then like I did everything.
He's just kidding. He paid for that. Yeah.
When I upgraded, I paid for it.
You made me spit my beer.
Propeller heads.
I think the mic caught that big old gold.
I'm Reason for life. Like that's called the DAW. DAW is just like the software that you use. I chose to use Reason, but the first one that I got, a buddy of mine got it for me. It was a bootleg version. He's like,
trial version.
This is what I can offer you. I was like, all right, and I finessed it. Like I learned how to use it. I got to the point where I didn't know what else to do with it, and I saved up my money, and then I bought the upgraded version, and I went from like version 5 to like 8 instantly. And
I laugh too because like I relate to it so much, man, because it is legal. There's Photoshop, right? Everybody knows Photoshop.
Yeah.
When I started my photo business, like I didn't want to pay that. Like I had no money to invest. We already spent $7,000 on whatever equipment, and then I still got to buy a software that costs a couple $100. I'm like, nah. So I started doing research, and there's this program, an open source image manipulator called GIMP.
Yeah.
Free. 100% free, open source. Download it, and like now I don't wanna switch. I learned it.
You learned it, yeah.
But I relate to it 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like people like, should I get a Mac? Should I get a PC? Should I get this? Should I get that? Like,
I did want to ask you that. Almost any music video, or at least most of them that you see, a lot of artists, everybody, even you, like, you know, you're not starting off, but you're local right now. Everybody seems to prefer Mac. Why is that?
I just think because Mac is the household name, like the industry standard. But like that's changing. Yeah. You'll see a lot of producers with like regular like Windows-based computers, Windows-based laptops, and that's what they're working with. I got a Mac. Just honestly because I felt like people are gonna see a Mac and they're like, oh, he has a Mac.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he must know what he's doing.
Like, it sounds ridiculous.
That's a
It's a selling point though.
Yeah.
But I think
you're thinking
that's a
smart.
big
You're
up
thinking
on
marketing wise.
Apple
Like
for doing that, like creating that kind of image for the brand.
they branded themselves to a point where like it's a status symbol.
Quality product,
Yeah.
status.
When in reality, I prefer an Android phone all day over
right.
an iPhone.
And this was the same conversation we had with the photographer. You know, he said he would prefer an Android kind of person, but he did have his little iPad, the notepad or iPad.
Yeah.
Because it does help him being mobile or just compatibility.
Yeah. It's so, but like I said, it's not about what you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how you use it. Yeah.
I love people that have that mentality, and I follow an artist, a Snow the Product, just because her mentality from day one has been and continues to be that way. Like everything, the same way her and brother built her studio.
Yeah.
You know, and her brother is still managing everything, like from video. They do everything on their own.
Yeah.
No label, nothing. And to me, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's a
you know,
lot of work.
coming from nothing and then just building, having that passion, putting everything you have into it.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. Like, again, how do you manage balancing home and a 9 to 5 and producing? I understand the producing part, and that's working with someone else and time consumption, but everything else,
you make time. Like I produce, and I'm sticking with one artist right now. Well, really two, because I don't want to put so much on my plate that I burn myself out. I mean, you also have to know, you know, where you're at. You have to know your own limitations. I'm about to have 3 kids. Like,
congratulations, man.
Thank you.
About legacy, man. That's pretty cool, man. 3.
Yeah, and so like I can't devote 100%, you know, to music. Not meaning that I'm not fully committed. I mean, like, I can't just be locked in here all day.
You can't. Yeah, you have to help your wife.
I have to help my wife, and not just that. I have to be there for my kids. Like, my kids have to know who I am. I'm their father.
Who's that man in that room just on music all day?
yeah. Who's that guy?
Wait a minute. What guy?
Who's that bearded guy that comes out every once in a while?
To use the restroom.
And we go through seasons like that. Honestly, like, we've gone through seasons like that. Like, man, big shout out to my wife.
Right.
Like,
it takes a family.
We've been in here. She supports me so much to the point, like, I'll be in here with Devontae until like 2 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. We'll be recording. We'll knock out 4 records in a night.
I mean, dude, she gave you a whole room.
She did.
Like, some guys will, like,
I kind of bogarted, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, how did that
like,
go?
this is my room.
Oh, really?
I was alright. Like, she was cool with it. Like, I've been doing music.
Some guys will do anything for a man cave, for having a room with their you know, with their man stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, you're lucky.
Yeah, I am. But like, the other part about it is, like, she knew.
Yeah.
Like, she knew that this is what I do.
True.
And, like, you know, we've had the conversations where, like, where's this going? Okay. Or, like, where are you at? That's just a natural conversation that anybody would have in any marriage. You know what I mean?
Because you're devoting time to something that's not, you know, I guess, a priority to others.
Yeah, everybody has their own priorities.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like you're putting a lot of time into this. Like, where are you going? Like, what are your plans? What's going to happen? And it's like, this is where we're at. This, and this. And she's like, okay. And then she listens to the music, and then she's like, okay. So I'm pretty sure if we sucked, she'd be like, hey,
you sure?
You sure you want to go through with this?
Come on,
you might want to pump the brakes. and it's like, so she's very supportive, which helps out.
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm sure, because I'm sure that if she doubted you, that would plant a seed in your mind.
It would,
maybe doubt.
Yeah, it would be huge. I mean, it would be a huge, like, weight to carry.
Yeah.
Like, I would lay down with you, and you don't even think I can do it.
Wow.
But, like,
when you feel like that, yeah.
yeah, and that's how it is. Like, you get married, and they become, like, I tell people my wife's my best friend. And she really is. We tell each other everything. We talk about everything. She's seen my lows and my highs. Mm-hmm. And, like, and that's only going to continue, you know, as our marriage continues. But the fact that she's so supportive and, you know, she's honest about a lot of things, it helps.
Right.
Like, I was in another situation and she was straight up with me. She was like, I'm not feeling this. Like, this is weird. We're doing too much. I just don't like it. And it ended up being where, like, it didn't work out.
She was right.
Yeah, she was right.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. So, like, you know, and I was like, I just gotta give it a chance. And then, you know, months down the line, it was just like, oh.
How did you approach it?
You're right.
You tell her, like, how do you know? Like,
Or more like, you're right, babe? Or how did that go? Like,
I think it's just like
she just realized
intuition,
it? Yeah.
you know, women's intuition. Like, not just that, she has an outside perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have much at stake in it as I do. Like, I think one of my biggest problems is that when I start something, like, like, head down, let's go.
You go all in.
Yeah, let's go, let's do this. And, like,
Which shows your passion, though.
yeah. And even if it may seem like it's not going how it should, I always try to keep a positive outlook and be like, it'll work out.
Right.
Like, let's just keep moving forward. Unless it's just like blatantly in my face, like, oh, like, no. But, you know, she had an outside look on it. And she was like, hey, I'm not really feeling this.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And I took it into consideration, and it helped me start paying attention to different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things
Okay.
that were going on, and I was able to pull out of the situation.
Okay. Good for you, man. It takes a family to be. It's your brand, and part of your brand is your family.
Yeah.
And everything that comes along with it.
It's a representation of you.
Yes.
Like, it's an extension of who you are.
So it's impressive that you're able to handle it so gracefully.
Yeah, it's
and her too.
Yeah.
Her too,
her too.
especially because that's to sit there and support something that you're not physically a part of, but you're respaldando
yeah,
the
Backing
person,
them up.
backing up the person.
yeah.
Forgot English for a second.
It's a bilingual.
Yeah,
It's a bilingual episode.
Yeah, we have yet to do a Spanish episode, which that'd be pretty neat.
That would be pretty neat.
Oh.
Sat button. Ahora.
Presentando.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, having her support is huge.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've realized, like, even with this, I think it's in whatever you want to do. You know, you're married, and like your wife supports you to let you come over here and do these things. Like, my wife, we've done shows. You know what I mean? Like, we've gone to the Warehouse Live and performed, and I had to go. Like, I was doing background vocals, and I was doing, like, playing the sax, because that's where we're at. Like, that's where we're at with it, as far as like me and Devontae. Like,
Really?
if we can't find a background singer, I'll do the
You'll
background
do it?
vocals.
What?
Yeah.
When's the next? Oh shit, we got 2 backups right here.
They were
Your wife would be like,
She was.
Yeah.
But like that's.
You're supposed to say no, man.
Well, no, I was like, nah. But like that's where we're at with it, like with the grind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't find somebody to do it, we do it ourselves. Like, that's what it's about. That's what I mean. Like,
I'll take my clarinet.
putting your head down.
I can't promise you any good vocals, man.
Hey.
Stop you at the door like it wasn't the case.
they do stop you.
Yeah.
Do they?
When we did the show at Warehouse
Warehouse
Live,
Live?
I had my saxophone. My saxophone that I use, I have a strap on it,
Yeah.
and like I'm able to carry it. And he's like, "What's in your case?" I was like, "My saxophone."
It's real thug.
And he was like, "Open it." I was like, "For real?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, all right. So I'm out here in the.
Pinche Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Desperado. So I'm out there like in where's Warehouse Live, like Midtown or like the middle of like out in the sidewalk, opening my saxophone. And
people start throwing dollars.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. And the guy was like, "Oh, that's nice." It's like, "Can I go in, bro?" Like, this is uncomfortable. So I was like, "Yeah, put it back in," and went in. But yeah, they do check you. But I came home like at 2 o'clock in the morning that night, and not because I was like partying afterwards, because we performed our set and we left. It's just the time that we went on, how long the show was. And like we saw one other act, and then we came home. Like we weren't out there lollygagging. Like we went to work, and we came back home. So
isn't that part of the culture as far as networking? Wouldn't you normally stay?
yeah, I mean you do. Like you want to network. You want people to see your face. You know you want people to know who you are. But man, I'm like weird. I say I'm weird. I don't want everybody to know me. Like I don't want, like, if I can, I'm gonna use the term blow up, but like if I could make this my everyday job, working with one artist, I think that's dope, because that defines careers. Like there's people who are synonymous with producers. Like Drake is synonymous with 40. Like 40 is his producer. You know what I mean? Jay-Z is synonymous with Timberland. Aaliyah is synonymous with Timberland.
Okay.
Missy Elliott is synonymous with Timberland.
So
Genuine.
Okay, so you saved yourself from a question that I had, which was, is there an artist you would like to work with?
Well, yeah, there's people that I would love to work with, but like in all honesty, like this is where I'm at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like the two artists that I'm working on, because I'm not just doing one or two tracks. I'm producing the whole album.
Right.
Like,
I had no idea. I thought you had just done singles or something.
nah,
That's impressive.
I did the whole album, and like with Double O, like we had the song Ghetto Stories on the radio. He came to me and he was like, "Hey, I want you to do my whole album." I was like, "Let's do it." And for me, I think that's dope because I now become synonymous with this person. Like they're gonna ask him, "Hey, who do you have on the album?" It's one guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
nice.
they asked Devontae. Devontae goes to interviews and stuff like that. And who do you work as a producer? Lix1000. Who else? Nobody else. Like,
Nice.
and it becomes a
He
a
didn't
topic
have,
piece.
He didn't have somebody else producing for him before.
yeah, like he's gone through, you know, he's worked with different producers and things like that. But like we've known each other like 10 plus years now.
Yeah.
Like when we first started, like it was a group of us, and like that's where I met him, through that group. And like we worked together, but we never really just sat down and like worked together like we're doing now.
Right.
And like time passed by, like he went to LA, he was out in LA like recording at like Capitol Records, like doing all that stuff. And he came back, and when he came back, like we linked up. And he was like, "Hey, you know, are you still doing music?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to work?" Like, "Yeah, let's work."
Nice.
And like we started working, and like this is where we're at now. And you know, I feel like the quality of music that we put out can compete with anybody out there.
Well, why not get known? Why not want to get known? I'm still
I think
thinking about
maybe
that.
what she's thinking, which is something that was back in my head, why not take the avenue like DJ Khaled? Like he's out there and he's very, very
He made his own, I guess, brand, but I guess that, I mean, I'm just curious. Why
It's not
wanna
a part
get
of my
known?
personality. Like
Okay.
that. I
So you
truly
want your
believe that that's
produ-
DJ
producer-
Khaled 24/7.
True.
When you go meet DJ Khaled,
Yeah.
that's who he is.
Yeah.
And so that just comes natural. Like, I don't want this to feel like a job. It doesn't feel like a job. And I don't ever want it to. I don't want to have to put on a mask to go out there. And you know what I mean? Be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Lix1000 out here, and then at home I'm Felix." Like, even though like it is like that a little bit, what I mean is like, you know, when I sit down with my kids, I'm dad. Like I'm not. They don't know me for being a producer.
More like a party
But-
next door kind of personality. Like you have that.
Yeah, like yeah, like
he's very
low
introvert.
key. Yeah. That's
It's like I've never done a concert before. Like he's very just introvert.
yeah. That's how I am.
Okay.
Like and I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
Like-
and he's respected for that.
But he's a writer. And that's the other thing. Like he's so like speaking of Party Next Door is just so dope. He writes. He's written so many songs for so many people,
Mhm.
and people don't know.
Right.
Cashing that check.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
at that point in time, it doesn't matter if you don't know me. You know what I mean? And that's
the bank knows me.
exactly.
Yeah. 'Cause I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't have known how he even looked. You know, and then I started reading more and more about him. I'm like, he's a really cool, talented dude. A lot of people respect him.
Yeah.
But he's shies away from the crowd,
Yeah.
from the light, from everything.
And because it affects
To people where people worry about him.
like I don't know about that part, but like it follows you home, like
Mhm.
whatever you do. Like if your goal is to be famous, you're going to have to accept everything that comes with being famous. That's, you know, if you get to that level, you know what I'm saying, the whole paparazzi, everybody wanting to be in your business, you
Discipline goes to 1,000.
having to be consistently on social media to where it becomes a part of your life. and like
You're right.
that's not what I want for myself.
Right.
And that's not what I want for my family. Like
Right.
I don't want people to ask, oh, I wonder what kind of shoes his kids are wearing today. Like, you know what I mean? And there's people, that's a sacrifice that they make to be in the position that they're in.
Especially in today's, just the way society is.
It's scary too,
Yeah.
whenever
The
you
shaming.
get to that point, when you're exposed, and then when people become famous, the public expects you to be readily available no matter what time of day or where or what.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like I've seen it, and the internet is a mask for a lot of people. It gives them a medium to be able to say whatever they want, however they want, to whoever they want, like
Without repercussions.
with no repercussions.
That's the difference.
It is starting to change though, because you do hear about like people, like recently, my girl's son, my stepson, he goes to school at Milby, and recently there was a threat, and it was, I guess, I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know, or I didn't know this until that day, but apparently you can send a message to people within your vicinity.
You can interrupt messages.
Right.
Yeah.
And anonymously, if you want.
Wow.
And the dude, somebody dropped a threat, and it was anonymous, but they're able to eventually track that stuff down. So like, that's true, but I think it's evolving also. Like, because I'm sure that, I mean, it's common to hear about a troll, and you hear about people talking shit, and then they say it because they're behind the screen, and they don't.
Fake
They
profile.
wouldn't tell you to your face.
Yeah,
but I think it's evolving to the.
But it
point where
does
that's-
affect the person, though. I mean,
Well, yeah, like the last person I saw talk about it was like 2 Chainz. Like he was talking about how like people expect you to be able to take a picture, and you're trying to catch a flight.
Right.
You know what I mean? He has a job to do, and it's like, do you as that person, do you say, all right, I'm gonna take this picture with you, and take the chance of missing my flight, take the chance of like being late to get some money,
Right.
or like, do I just like brush you off and go about my business? And from my understanding, he's the type that'll take that picture with you,
Okay.
and like he'll take that picture, he'll do that selfie, and he'll go about his business. But I also think that as people, like if you're really a fan, like you gotta understand, like this man's got a job to do.
Yeah, have courtesy.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think though, there's people out there.
Yeah.
And you
My
know,
goodness.
and I mentioned the thing about the internet because I read comments and people are like, well, that's the life he chose.
Yeah.
This, and this,
Not
and
really.
that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is still a human being.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this is still a person. Like he has kids. He has a home to go to. He still eats doo-doos like everybody else. Like
Yeah.
he's still a person. Like just.
I like that series that he's doing. What is it? Most expensive.
Oh, expensive. Yeah, the expensive stuff. Yeah, he's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
But it's like with these artists, like like they to an extent I understand what you're saying, but also like I think
There's boundaries.
like you have to have boundaries.
It's funny we're talking about this because I think this morning JJ Watt was on a radio station. They were interviewing him, and this exact conversation. He goes, I'm the kind of person, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
If I'm just standing around there, I'll take a picture, I'll sign this. He goes, but when I'm in a restaurant and with my family, he goes, this is the only time I have to spend with my family. And I understand people look him up, I'll take it with my family, of course. He goes, but there was a situation where he was going to the restroom, and the guy, he's like, it wasn't even like asking him, it was like, come here, sit down right here. And he's like, let me go to the restroom. Like, he doesn't want to come off as rude and say no, because he's the kind of guy who's like,
Yeah.
But dude, he needs to go to the freaking restroom.
Yeah.
It's just, you would think people would be more courteous, but they're not.
Yeah.
And those are the people that do give artists just a bad light. Like, oh, he told me no, and
Yeah.
I don't think people necessarily take those people, like, they don't give a full credibility, because one, I'm sure at first it's like, oh, JJ Watt did what?
Yeah.
But then when they start knowing the rest of the details, it's like, oh wait, nah, you were fucked up. Like, you shouldn't be stopping the man from going to do it.
Right.
And that's the other thing with society. Like you have to do your own research. And I think
Not just read the headline.
Yeah, not just read the headline, exactly. We live in a world now where information is at our fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
Like we get the news faster through Instagram than we do through the actual news
Right.
itself. like news breaks on social media first.
See, actually, you know, you said that. Like, I've noticed a trend. Like in the past couple of days, like I'm getting notifications on Facebook that ABC 13 is like breaking news, and it's on an app instead of, you know, obviously because we're not watching TV anymore. But
yeah,
you're right. You're getting your news through social media.
That's the world that we live in now, and so like that's kind of like Wikipedia. Wikipedia, you can go and edit whatever you want, put whatever you want on there. It's up to you as the listener, as the reader, as the consumer,
because you have to be a subscriber in order to change those stuff.
To do your own research, like what is real.
Wait, how do you know?
That mind blew me because I looked it up. Because not just anybody can go, but if you're subscribed to Wikipedia, you have access to change it.
Sure they're trying to keep credibility because they have people that are trying to keep it as credible as possible. But at the end of the day,
how can you catch everything?
Yeah. So it's like that's the kind of world that we live in. Like you have to do your own research, you have to do your own things.
But going back to your music, like where do you see yourself in, let's say, 2025? Where do you see yourself?
20-25 years?
No, well, 2025.
Oh, 2025. I'm sorry. I was like 20-25 years. Like, dang, that's far.
Alive.
That's a lot. Like 6 years from now.
I saw your face too.
I was like, wow. I was like, this is different.
This is deep.
Yeah.
The fuck is he drinking?
This is my third one.
Completely transitioned to where this is what I do for a living.
2025 is
6 years from now.
Okay.
It sounds like a long ways.
It does.
It's not. It's really not.
Out.
But like that's where I see myself. No, I do.
For real, he don't have no grades or anything. Shit, I got fucking
Three
grades.
kids.
Hey, wait a minute, for real, how do you have not grades and you have 2 kids already and third one on the way?
My wife has the grades.
I did not mean to get that out of him, but
I'm fun, Dad. No,
babe, why are you stressing out? Like the kids writing all over the wall. Don't worry about it. Sorry.
She doesn't. She tells me about it. I'm the one that has the painting and stuff.
Because side note, his kid, how old was he?
He was 2 at the time. He's 3 now.
Scribbled permanent marker on the wall. That was
The entire hallway wall.
It's like a rite of passage though for kids.
The only thing I did as a kid that's like a big story is I took my mom's face cream and I put it all over her. She had like this double mirror thing, and I put it all over the mirrors. I put it into the VCR at the time. VCR. Wow. I put it into the VCR at the time. And then, to make matters worse, when she put me into the restroom, I locked the door to the restroom, and the water was running. So like she was gonna give me a bath, so she stopped up the tub, and like
How
the water
old were
was
you?
4, 5,
man.
and like
freaking
and like I sat on the toilet and I was just watching the water rise, like chilling. And she was like, "Mi hijo, abrí la puerta. Mi hijo, abrí la puerta." And I was just sitting like.
I would have given you an exorcism or something.
My aunt had to actually go through the window. My aunt had to go through the window.
You're just sitting there. Oh hell no! Not in my house.
My aunt had to go through the window and
Maybe
like
that's
turn
why I
off the
don't
water.
have kids.
Kids are fun, man.
That's
yes,
funny.
they're a headache and all that, but kids are fun.
I'm sure. I mean, they are worth it. Don't get me wrong,
But back to your question, like I see myself doing this for a living, fully.
Still here in Houston, or you think you'll go to like LA or something?
Nah, I want to be here. Like I don't like. I have. It's a common theme, or it's commonly heard where like you can't really make it in the city that you're from. You have to expand. You have to leave, and like you'll see that people outside support you more.
Right.
But like,
are you taking that as a challenge?
The internet puts you wherever you want to be.
Right. That's true too.
I mean? And like I think that Houston, the area of Houston is so huge. Like we're 4 million people, 5 million people. If we can get 10,000 people to like our music, like I think it's a reachable goal, and we can build on top of that.
It is.
And that's the mindset and the strategy that we have. Like let's build this core fan base, and then that will take us where we want to go.
Speaking of accessibility and all, how can people reach you and Devante and your artists?
Instagram. Instagram was mostly where I'm at Lix_1000. And Devante is at darkskindevante. But that's mainly what I'm on.
Is there a light skinned Devante out there?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean.
My bro's just kind of on the dark side. That's why he picked that. But
it's a nice selling point.
yeah, he's honest. But that's where you can reach us.
Hey, you should get light skinned Devante just to fuck with people. Like
Hey. Sorry.
You what?
Bro, you chose the wrong filter.
Yeah, nah. But Instagram is where I usually stay.
Nice.
Yeah.
What shows do you have coming up? You mentioned that you were doing shows. Are you doing something soon?
I don't think we have anything lined up right now. I think once the album drops, then we'll start figuring out where this show where we're going to perform and things like that.
What helps to get your venues, or is it mostly you guys reaching out?
Really, it's mostly who Devante knows.
Okay.
He's known for his
wise?
stage performance.
Okay.
Nice.
Like his performance, it really captivates people. Like he's not one of those like where the actual track is playing in the background. You know what I mean? Like we take all the vocals out, and it's him performing. Like you hear a beat and you hear him. And then like the last show that we did, which is at Warehouse Live, like I was doing background vocals, so it was an actual live show. Like we rehearsed, we did all that, so you actually get a show when you go.
Let us know.
See.
Let us know. We'll
Definitely,
definitely
sure.
show up, man. I'm
Yeah,
really
definitely.
interested in getting to see that live
We'll post
experience.
it up on the page and make sure that people know about it.
Yeah, once we start getting that together, I'll make sure to let y'all know. Yeah.
We're serious about the background vocals.
I'm not. I'm gonna take the clarinet.
Like honestly, it's easier than what you think. Like
man,
I'm not on.
No, dude, I just talking. Like I had to get through me being obnoxious.
I'm not on the songs like ooh yeah. Like nah. Like I just do my part. Like I'll play y'all something. I'll show y'all something here a little later.
Yeah.
But it's like everything comes back to knowing what you can do. You know, I know my range. I know where I'm at. I'm not gonna try to be freaking Chris Brown.
Just thinking about it. I know I cannot sing, dude.
It's nerve wracking.
I don't know the range of it. No, dude.
It really is nerve wracking. I think what helped though was like church.
Okay.
Like I've led worship. I've played my sax at church in front of people. We've had like services where like all the surrounding churches from Houston go to one big church and we hold the big service. Like 100+ people.
Nice.
Like it's a lot of people. You look out and it's a sea of people, right? And it's for church, but like you still if you play a wrong note, they're kind of like.
Hey, you're supposed to judge.
Yeah, you get the. I've seen it like when I first started playing sax and we would hold services like that, and they're like, oh, hermanitos, to now like I'll play and like they give me solos and stuff like that. Like the last service I did, I had a solo and like I played, and after the service, like, hermano, qué bonito tocó, no? Que Dios lo bendiga y que lo ayude.
That's awesome.
Like, thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Thank you, brother.
What do you want to sign?
Nah.
Well, I'm sure, like they say, since you got your experience from there, like that's, like you said, a very honest answer. And if you can play in front of that, you have the confidence and the esteem to fucking do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It's still nerve wracking though. Like when we did Warehouse Live, like I told him I was like, I'm gonna sit in the back, bro. Like I'm gonna be like behind you. Like this is your show. I'm just here for support.
He's energetic, right? I can assume. I'm assuming.
I mean, depending on the song.
Okay.
You know, that when I say that he's like a great performer, that's what I mean. Like he knows his music to where like he's not gonna be jumping around. Like you're not gonna hear him yelling. You're gonna hear him performing the song.
Okay.
Like whatever song we did, you're gonna hear him performing it. And I sat in the back, like I had my mic, and I would sing when I was supposed to sing, and I would stop. And even to the point where I actually got a compliment from somebody. They were like, "Hey, bro, I never knew." And I was like, yeah. You know, we do what we need to do.
This whole thing.
Yeah. It's like, it's cool. Like, it feels good, but it's also like, man, I'm just doing my job.
That's
you know
cool,
what I mean?
man.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you have passion behind it.
Yeah.
You know?
I
You
do,
enjoying
like-
it, you doing it, having fun and doing such a great job, impacting people out there.
Do you got a track with the sax? You know?
Yep.
Nice.
I have a couple. We have a couple. Actually, on Thus Far, the song's called Energy. I play the saxophone and I'm singing on there.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm vibrating. I'll have to call him back. No, but yeah. No, about kids.
Any
Three.
advice? He found out he's having a little girl.
Yeah, I got
You having a little girl?
Yeah. Man.
Oh man, that's awesome! Congratulations,
baby girl coming.
man. Yeah, she just woke up. My baby girl just woke up.
She heard she's a girl. What?
Yeah, girls,
Yeah,
man.
Play date. That's what she heard.
Girls, like they, like with my son. Like I want to say that me and my son have a bond. Like when he was in the womb, like I would play him my music. Like I would talk to him. I would do all that. When he came out, like it was like, oh my God, my son, and like, you know, they say, like my mother-in-law will say like he's really close to you, cause like when like if I have to go to work and like they're at my mother-in-law's house, he'll start crying and he'll say, where's my papa? Where's my papa? But like we had to like build.
It already gets me, bro. Like right now, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
Like right now, my wife, she's spending time at her mom's because she works on Southside, and
Yeah.
you know, we live up here. So I'm like, you know, just stay over there. I'd rather you stay over there than be driving, 45 minutes to come up here. And the separation, like, sorry, babe, not so much because of her, because of the kid, like,
Yeah.
Because then there's times where we go to sleep and I put my hand on her belly, and like I feel the little girl move, and it's like,
Yeah.
You feel it already, like there's a connection there.
There is, and so, but like with my daughter, like it's, man, girls are on a whole other level. Like with dads, like, man, that little girl's like
How old is she?
1,
1. Okay.
and she knows it. Like she knows it. Like she, man, I don't even know how to explain it. Like just the love I have for her. I mean,
She's got you wrapped around her finger.
Yeah, she
pretty
does.
much, yeah.
She does. And like people are like, oh, she's so cute. She's so this. So I know. Like, or like actually, or they'll be like, oh, bien bonita pa mi nieto. A ver su nieto. You know what I'm saying? Or like I forgot where we were at. We were at like at a 15 or something, and like somebody was holding my daughter, and I didn't realize I was staring at him the whole time. I was just like staring, and my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" So you have not took your eyes off that guy since he grabbed Violet.
That's
Touching his
good
butt.
though.
I was like, man.
That's a pretty name, Violet.
Yeah, her name's Violet Marie.
Real pretty name.
And I
I'm
was
still like that.
sorry with me. I wanted to name her Maria Felix. Maria Felix.
Oh.
My wife didn't want to. But my wife's name's Maria.
Oh,
My
okay.
name's Felix.
Oh, dude, that would
That
have
would've
been
been
awesome.
That's what I thought. I was like, it would have been dope. So why is that your name? It's my mom and my dad's name. That's what I thought. But she's
Also,
like,
because Snow the Product, that's her idol too, so I'm just saying.
Oh.
I'm in love with her girl. Anyway.
Mm.
So, your daughter.
yeah, but I just like didn't take my eyes off the dude. Like he noticed, like he got uncomfortable. Like they gave me my
Was
kid
he
back.
related to you? Or who?
He
did
went to
you
our
know
church.
him?
Like yeah, he goes to our church.
Oh.
It's a little dude from our church. He's like 14, 15.
It might have had to do with you're like going like this to him too.
I might have, I don't know, but I was staring. Like after I think about it now, like yeah, I was staring hard. But it's just cause like I'm
that instinct.
overprotective like of my kids. Like I really am.
I'm actually scared how he's gonna be with this girl.
I am too. Like I already. Yeah, I'm protective. Like like you. Some people might say like, oh, it's like jealousy or anything, but no, it's you want to protect what you love.
Yeah.
And I've always known that, but then like when the moment, because I had a gender reveal, and my girl, My girl, she was sure. She was 100% sure. Her mom, my mom, for whatever reason, they were 100% sure.
75% of the people were sure
that it was a boy. They were just, my girl, because she has a boy.
Yeah.
Boy's 18. He just turned 18.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, it feels the same. The pregnancy, the size, and this and that.
To the point where we had like bets, and then anyone did it. Why are we doing that? We know it's a boy, and I'm like,
and then you see,
I think it's a girl.
See the pink smoke and the pink confetti. Like all them, they're and like me and her son, we're like, we're just happy. And
I
like,
took a good video of that moment.
From like that
You'll
moment,
see
it's
it.
like just,
I was the complete opposite at our gender reveal.
Really?
Like with my daughter, I popped that balloon, poof, and I saw the pink stuff come out. I tell people I flash forwarded like 15 years into the future and like came back.
With the shotgun, like,
yeah.
Who are you?
Like not, man. You know what? Like,
because your firstborn was a boy.
Yeah, it was a boy.
And he's now 4.
He's 3.
3. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then were you expecting? I mean, I don't know. Were you hoping for a boy?
I was honestly cool with whatever.
Okay.
But like
I guess the moment
when people start, it's a girl. Like, man, look, whatever comes out, comes out.
That's
yeah.
what I would say.
Like, I'm happy, but like you're kind of getting under my skin, bro. Like,
yeah.
But like with the third one, it's a boy. So.
Okay.
And I was hoping I'd have a boy, not because I didn't want another girl, but like I wanted my girl to stay like the little princess, like that's what I wanted, and God granted that to me, so that's cool.
It's a middle child too.
Yeah, so
protection and all that.
Man, but she knows she has me wrapped around her finger, like she knows it. That's just the things that she does.
So just touch base on what you just said. So what is gonna happen in about 15 years or whenever?
You know what? I have a funny story like from my coworker. When he told me, I was like, man, I'm gonna take a page out of your book. He said that I'm paraphrasing here. He said that like a little dude came over to his house with his daughter, and his daughter, like he opened the door and his daughter was like, oh hey dad, this is such and such, my boyfriend. And he was like, he said he grabbed her, pulled her in, like and shut the door on the dude. He was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Closed the door on him. I was like, man, that's freaking awesome. That's what I'm gonna do. Take a page from their book. So something similar to that.
I thought there was gonna be more, but no, that's alright. That's legit.
That's paraphrasing.
Something similar to that. Like, I mean, like I know that like when I was crazy when I was younger.
It's difficult, man.
But like when you go back and you think about your life, and then you look at your kids, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Bro, this is probably like the old talking, but it's like you sit here and think and like see where society's going and shit.
Yeah.
That's what worries me the most. It's like you see thoughts and twerking and all this.
But it's all about. I listen to my brother a lot because he's a father, and both of my brothers are fathers. But
I enjoy thoughts.
That's your problem. The thing is, one thing that I admire about his fatherhood mentality is, I've asked him, I'm like, what if Olivia were to bring, like, just a plain loser home?
Yeah.
And he sat there, he just really thought about it, because I guess, you think about it, but what if it really happens?
Yeah.
They bring him home for dinner. What's your reaction? What did you like, the whole closing the door? And he sits there and he ponders. He's like, I wouldn't do anything, but I would realize that I've already messed up. And one thing he instills in his daughter is like, you gotta teach him as a young age. You gotta build their mind. It's not what are you gonna do when it happens.
You gotta set the bar high.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You and like my best friend, like he says something similar. He's like, I'm gonna buy, because he has 2 daughters.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm gonna buy my daughters roses.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take them out on dates.
Right.
I'm gonna show them what it's like to be treated like a woman. And I fully agree. You know what I mean?
Because it's scary to think that, especially at that age, 15, girls, as a girl too, like I can remember, you tell me no and I'm going to do it just because you told me no.
Yeah.
It's the rebelling thing. But then also,
girls are weird.
Yeah, it's part of, I call it the rite of passage. You have to have the inner turmoil, the inner rebelliousness against, oh, I know, and especially being a girl, because you see your surroundings. I'm sure she's gonna see how her brothers are gonna be able to do things that she's not gonna be able to.
Yeah.
So how do you I guess put that in her fairness? How do you explain that?
Right there, you can't really say that because you don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe they can be just as strict with the boys as they are the girls.
I've never seen that.
I'll tell you something. My parents had 5 boys,
Okay.
and I could have sworn that I was treated like a girl.
Okay.
Because that's how strict my parents were.
Okay.
My parents were like, "Hey, I want you home at a certain time."
Okay.
If it got around that time and I was like, they started blowing up my phone. If I wasn't answering, by the time I got home, they were up waiting. Hey, where were you?
Okay, but look at this. Would she be able to even go out alone? That's the difference. That's what I'm saying.
But here's my perspective on it. I don't want any of my kids to go out alone.
Okay.
When I say I'm overprotective, like I really am. Like,
good for you.
I'm weird. Like, we went to the mall with my son when he was first born, my first son, and I wouldn't go near the railings. In my mind, I was like, some dude's gonna steal something from a store. He's gonna run. He's gonna bump into me. He's gonna make my kid fall out of my arms. He's gonna fall over the railings. I'm gonna jump over the railings to save him, and I'm gonna die. That's like the whole process in my head. It sounds weird, but I would stay away from the railings. Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It happened the 1 second you just looked at it.
Yeah, like nope, not going near the railings. I'm staying over here.
I can understand.
But that's how I am with my kids.
Yeah.
Like, even in a safe place, right? What you consider a safe place, like at somebody's house, like a family member's house. I don't like to leave my kids by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where you at? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Anything can happen at any given moment.
Yeah.
And like I honestly do believe like being a parent is the hardest job in the world.
Yes.
Like, it's really hard. It's easy to make a kid pop them out and not just be involved. Like, that's easy. But like for you to truly be involved in your kid's life, to be a parent,
yes.
to like, it's hard.
I've co-parented, and I can gladly admit that's one thing I am most fearful of, is becoming a parent. And I don't mean like it's a bad thing. I mean it's just a huge responsibility.
It's humongous.
And there are parents out there that are very laid back. I know that I would not. Plain and simple.
You do have to get to a point where you have to let your kids experience things. Like I will say, like,
it's part of growth. Yes.
My parents like would try to keep me in a bubble, but like I was still exposed to certain things. You know what I mean? There were still certain things that I experienced. I did go through a rebellious stage. I did like experiment like with drugs. Like I smoked weed and stuff like that. But like, but what they taught me, what they instilled in me, played a huge part.
Right.
And I ended up being a responsible parent myself. Like, yeah. I'm trying to be as responsible as I can be. And then I think that, yeah, it's a fear. I talked to my mom a lot. I told her that when my son was born, I felt 2 things: immediate joy and instant regret. And immediate joy because I got to hold my son, and instant regret because I was like, damn, I was a dick. I was like, wow. I finally was able to understand the amount of love my parents had for me and what they were trying to avoid, what they wanted me to avoid in my life. Right. Like my downfalls, the things that happened to me, certain experiences that I had, they were trying to be like, hey, don't go that way, go this way. And I was like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. And I would go the other way. And
again,
boom,
rite of passage.
Yeah, fall on my face. And then when I held my son, I was like, oh.
You understand.
I get it. I was a dick. Like, yeah.
Mom, my bad.
I did. I was like, Mom, sorry.
I hear it. You hear it all the time. I mean, our parents told us that. Yeah. You know, well, wait till you have kids.
Yeah.
Wait till you have kids. And we were just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but.
And so, like, it was funny. I saw a meme, and it was like, how can I put enough tragedy into my kid's life to where they end up funny? So they end up being funny.
Yeah.
And I started laughing, and I was like, yeah.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
But don't you see that as well as for yourself? Like, you say instant regret, like, oh, you know, I fucked up. But at the same time, our failures created the character that you have now.
Yeah, it molds you to who you are. But for myself, I felt like I was just looking back.
True.
Like it helped me understand
from
the
your
love.
parents' point of view.
Well, just the love, the
Yes.
amount of love, how big it is.
Right.
Like, yeah, my
Okay.
experiences and the things that I went through molded me into the person that I am today. I think it molds everybody. Whatever you go through, it makes you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go through certain things. But I realized, like, this is why you were telling me what you were telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, she's 25 weeks right now.
Oh, you're almost there.
Yeah.
We're at 36.
Damn.
So, like, any day now. My kids come early. Like, both of my kids were born at 37 weeks.
What's the average? Like the norm?
40.
40? Okay.
Yeah, 40, 41. Yeah, so we're like there. We had a doctor's appointment today, and like they checked her cervix, and like she's like 2 centimeters dilated.
Already?
Yeah, and
Jeez.
the doctor was like, "Well, I want to see you next week if you make it to next
Whoa,
week."
man.
You've ignored some calls like I don't want.
Did I read you? No, you know your phone?
Sure. Fatherhood is amazing. It's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never taken care of an infant, but you know I've had relationships where I had a 12-year-old. I played levels 12 through 18.
It's co-parenting.
I've never started a new level.
You never started from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Like, if one thing I can tell you, don't be like us. Like when my son was born, we literally took turns sleeping when we got home, and all we were doing was watching him sleep. Like,
See,
they're gonna sleep, bro. Like, you get your sleep.
But this was both of y'all's first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got cheat code. My girl has an 18-year-old. So like when we went to Target, she's like, "Oh, I don't need that. Oh, I don't need that. I need this." Okay, and I'm like, "All right, this is gonna be cool."
Yeah.
She's experienced.
I got somebody that's already been through this.
Man, but like, even if you've been through it, like each kid is different.
Yeah.
And like it's been 18 years.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
and then I mean, just from the get-go,
I've talked about that
from
with
the get-go, I threw her a curveball. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, it's a boy, it's a boy." And then
Yeah.
I have a picture. Man, I'll show it to you right now. Sorry, babe. I have a picture where like I took the screenshot where it's like her mom, my mom, they're all like in disbelief, and like I said, me and her boy are like.
And it's another thing too. Not only is it different, but she's also grown. You know, like she's
Yeah.
changed too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a different type of toll. His mom, dude.
We're gonna take this image and put it on there. I'm sorry, mom.
That's funny. That's real
It's
funny.
like, it's like complete.
And that's when she knew.
Yeah.
Fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, babe.
Oh man.
I had to find the video of ours. My wife was like, "Yeah." I was like, I'm so happy.
And that, dude, that's what I was telling you. I was like, because we have this, we have like other people record, take pictures. I'm like, babe, put a smile on, like, you know this.
It took
This
her a while.
is gonna be an archive. Like the little girl's gonna see it, or you piss. If she pisses me off when they're like, "Well, mom, this," I'm like, "Your mom? Okay, hold on. Look, your mom didn't want you. You were supposed to be No-E." Yeah. So if it was a boy,
Not Nancy.
Well, boy was supposed to be Noe.
Yeah.
My wife really liked the name. She wanted to put Noe. So my little girl's name is gonna be Noeli.
That's cool.
She really likes. I think she's obsessed with our name. Obviously, either way, it was a Noe.
Yeah.
So Noeli Margarita.
Oh, that's cool.
Margarita because of her
Noeli. Like Noeli.
Noelly.
Oh, Lly. Okay. Oh, they're gonna mess up her name. Noyeli?
Yeah, they're gonna say no. Yeah, they're gonna mess up. But
See, I wanted Noli. Like I wanted Noli because I seen that name like an interpretation of Noel.
Yeah.
Of the female version. And the way that we were gonna do it was Nolee.
Oh,
right? No-E.
No-E.
Yeah. I really like the sound of it or whatnot, and Brenda just couldn't pronounce it, but she just kept on fucking it up. I was like, man, that's gonna be messed up. Like your mom can't even say your own name.
Names are funny. Like my brother's name is Josue,
Yeah.
Josue,
Yeah.
and man, I've gone with him to places like pick stuff up, and they call his name Josu.
Yeah.
Josu. That's like my nephew. His name is Joshua.
Yeah.
Like they didn't put Josue for that reason.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny that you say Noel. Like my son, they're like, why don't you name him Noel? I'm like, you know what Noel means? Noel means Christmas. I'm not gonna name my son Christmas. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, she's due the first week of August. It's my birthday. Like I'm August 2nd, so
Oh,
she's
wow.
due in that week.
You could have her the same day. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would. And the thing is too, like, well, for her, it's like she doesn't want an August baby.
She doesn't.
She wants
no
to-
choice.
Yeah, she didn't want a boy. She didn't want a girl, and then she doesn't want it to be in the first week
and
of
I'm telling her
August.
too, like, man, you should stop saying what you don't want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that's what you're getting. Yeah, that's kind of like with me and my son. My birthday's the 16th. My son's birthday is the 8th.
Mm.
Yeah. He was actually due the end of January.
Oh wow.
But like it was our second like weekly visit, because you go every month,
Mhm.
and then you start going every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and as you get closer you go every week. And it was our second weekly visit, and they did an ultrasound. They couldn't find his head. He was already
He was ready.
he was already coming
wow.
down. Yeah.
Is it because your wife's tiny, or what? Like, just okay?
He was just ready to come out.
Okay.
And like we went back to the room, and the doctor came in, and she was like, "Hey, y'all are having a baby."
Wow.
What?
Your wife is gonna be like, "Yes, I am tiny."
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know what to expect.
Excited?
With this
Were
one.
you excited, scared when that was going on? When they told you, like,
I got nervous.
Nervous?
Like yeah, like when
I
like
would
you're having a
think.
baby today. I was
yeah,
like,
like,
No,
I didn't even
really.
pack.
I started
Yeah,
calling
like,
everybody. I started
yeah.
calling everybody. I was like, "Hey man, my kid's coming. Hey man, my kid's coming. Hey man, my kid's coming." And they were like, "Dude, like, man, he's not out yet." I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I was.
Man, I don't know what that feels like.
When
This is weird.
When he came out,
Yeah,
Oh.
brothers.
I was like, and like to the point, to the doctor was like, he's like, "Do you want to cut the umbilical cord?" Yeah. He gave me the scissors, and I just kind of stood there, and he was like, "Cut right here." I was like, "Okay." I was like okay. Well, my daughter, it was different. With my daughter, I was just like, I helped and all that, and I kind of just stayed out of the way, not to get into like the nurses and the doctor's way. But my daughter came like fast.
Okay.
My wife was cleaning, and when she started going into labor,
Wow.
and she was cleaning, and she was like, oh, like having a contraction. I was like, hey, we need to go. She said, no. I'll be fine another hour. If we would have waited another hour, she would have had the baby here.
Man. So what made you snap? Like, because it was early. Like, what was...
She was having
Was
the
it your intuition, though?
The contractions were
Oh.
just like happening
close.
there. They were happening close. I was like, hey, we need to go. And like when we got there, one of the nurses was like, oh, I don't know if she's in labor. I was like, bro, she's in labor. She was like, I'll be back in an hour. When the lady came back, the hour, her water broke. I was like, and then like an hour after that, like my baby was here.
Wow.
It was happening fast. Like right after her water broke.
Yeah.
The other thing I can tell you, take video. Like take as much video as you
She
can.
doesn't want video.
Man, my wife said the same thing. But I took some video with our son, and she's like, oh, I'm glad you took some video. So like, don't listen.
My cousin took
Sorry.
video of, like, the head, like, not really the actual stuff, like, everything, all the stuff going on, but the expressions. Her face, the wife's face.
Oh yeah, like I didn't take video of him coming out.
Yeah.
Like I took video of like when we were there and
Yeah.
stuff like that. What was
It's
going
They
cute.
on?
don't tell you anything?
You're in a room by yourself. Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? You sir, you can't film. It's my kid.
Yeah. It's very personal.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
You need help?
Have a podcast.
Welcoming our new edition.
Welcome guys to Let's Go Drink. This is my baby.
We're
Babe, say hi.
We're live.
Our first live broadcast.
Fresh out the womb.
And I'm going to have you as a backup singer, man. She's here.
Babe, what do you gotta say? Shit off my face.
Hey, when I tell you women get superhuman strength,
Yeah.
When they go into
Fresh
labor,
hands and shit?
oh, dude. With my son.
My wife is strong, man. As tiny as she is freaking strong.
My wife's strong too, but like their strength like goes like 10, 20 times. They were with my son. They induced
You
their
have to
labor.
understand what's going on.
Well,
dude.
yeah, but it was just crazy. Like, they induced her labor with my son, and so like they were putting monitors and stuff, and like they were putting a monitor on her, and they gave her medicine to contract. So she was having normal contractions, and then she was contracting because of the medicine, and so like
Is that normal?
when they induced her labor, yeah, I guess so. So the baby would come out. But they were like putting a monitor on her, and she had a contraction at the same time, and like she was holding my hand, dude. When I thought my hand was gonna fall off, she was like, yeah, they get strong.
Well, it's just the pain that they endure.
Women
I
go
can't even
through a
say
lot.
we because I haven't done it.
You want a video cam? No, I'll video cam. You can hold her hand.
I mean, no. I've seen so many things like no.
Women go through a lot.
Like I understand why men actually pass out, because even as me, a woman, like that's what my body could do. I understand that, but when you actually see it, like, man,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah, dude, like it is.
My wife, I said, man, she's a gangster. Like when she pushed out my daughter in like 2 pushes. She's like, and I saw the head. I was like, oh, and then the doctor was like, 1 more big push. And she was like, and here comes the baby.
I love your sound effect.
Yeah, here comes the baby. I was like, damn.
That's how you know you're a
We're
good
gonna have to
producer.
look back at the video because right now my expression was probably what's gonna be like that. It was like,
Yeah, it was.
Bro, that's I was like, damn.
I was trying to change it by being funny, but it didn't work.
I was like, dang. Yeah, it trips you out.
oh, I'm sure.
It trips you out.
I'm sure.
It's-
I'm supposed to touch that again. Like what?
Like you can't look away. Like it's like a bad car crash. You just can't look away. You're just like,
It's so beautiful.
but yeah, it's amazing though, man. It's gonna be great.
I'm excited for both of y'all. Man.
Yeah, it's,
Third one, is it third and done, or is, whatever happens, or how's y'all's mentality?
Stick that.
Yeah, we're leaning
No
towards.
pressure.
We're leaning towards
No,
third.
he's just-
We're leaning towards third, like this one being the last one.
Okay.
But I told my wife, I go, let's see where we're at in 2 years, maybe.
Okay.
We'll have a 4th one.
Good.
I don't mind having a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Right.
coming home with my kids.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is she?
Yeah, she's
Oh, okay.
she's down for it.
So
Like,
more than likely?
maybe.
Yeah, depending how
I
things go.
see what you're doing. In about 30, 40 years, like, hey, motherfucker, y'all can't put me in a home. Y'all just jump house to house.
One of y'all just build me one big house
Yeah. Who's most
between all
successful?
4 of y'all.
Baby girl, you know you're my favorite. What's up?
I'm training my nieces and nephews. I'm like, I need somebody to fucking.
They need to take care of their parents, not you.
No, I just need somebody to sneak the alcohol in their retirement home. 'Cause I'm gonna be in a retirement home, but I'm gonna need them sneaking the alcohol. Like, Oli, you're my favorite one.
We'll be doing the podcast. You're like 80. We're like 80 years old.
Somebody
Welcome
just
to
need
Let's
to-
Grab a Drink. Today we got Ovaltine.
Halfway through the
That shit
podcast.
happens now.
Okay, we're back.
This podcast is long.
It's just been 5 minutes. Oh.
I wake up.
Right.
Where are we at?
Where's my teeth? But yeah, I mean, let us know, and shows coming up. Make sure to let us know. We'll be able to share those things too.
Yes.
We're excited to see you again. And I'm serious. She's an awesome backup
Just have to.
I can do the dancing. I can do that. I got rhythm. I want to do the vocal. But we do.
Clarinet.
Yeah, and the clarinet. But we do like to ask our guests 3 questions every time.
Okay.
The first one being, what is your song of the moment that defines your life right now in this moment? With so many things going on for you, projects, kids, family, everything. And
That's kind of hard.
okay, we can go to the next
That's-
question, and we'll maybe so you can think about
Yeah,
it.
think about it for a second, and then
Well, I think
Okay.
being where we're at right now, where I'm at in my life, I think Hustle and Motivate with Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good choice, man.
Yeah,
Especially
I
at this moment.
think that's a good song describe. Like, gotta hustle and gotta keep myself motivated.
Not stop.
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing that was very admirable of him was the fact that he could motivate. You know, and everything was positive.
Yeah, his reach
Everything.
was
Every every move, every business move was positive.
yeah,
It was there was a lot of meaning behind it.
yeah.
So that's a great choice, man. Second,
What's your go-to meal, or not necessarily meal? What's your go-to food? Whether it's a cheap meal or candy or
Man, I love Chinese food.
Chinese food,
well, which one? What kind of Chinese
like buffet, or are you talking about a certain
food?
plate?
Egg roll, wonton soup.
Man, I like Panda Express.
Okay.
I do. They have the grilled chicken teriyaki.
I can't.
I used
Their
to
grilled
not-
chicken is good.
I used to knock it. I used to say, "Oh my god, it's like the fast food of Chinese."
Yeah.
But lately, dude, I hate myself. But it's good.
It's
It's actually a
good.
healthy good.
I like it. I've always liked Panda Express. I've never found like an authentic like Chinese spot. I mean, like there's
I sound like a badass, but
There's
right
a
here,
few.
right down the street, man. Asian City, right here on TZ, but no, right next to Movie Tower.
Is it like a buffet?
China River.
Yeah.
We went there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So what's your plate? What's your plate? Like, I'm the beef and broccoli kind of girl.
I like beef and broccoli, but I like the grilled chicken teriyaki.
Oh, you did say that, my bad.
That's good. Their kung pao chicken's pretty good too.
Okay. And then, so, third question. So, what is your drink of choice for today? What was the drink of choice? Well,
Originally.
originally, my bad. We kind
Origi-
of messed up.
Originally, like alcoholic.
We were cheap. He chose Jack Daniels, but we brought beer.
Ain't nothing wrong with good beer.
Well, we only forgot the ice. That's why. Sorry, guys.
No,
Yeah, there's a hot bottle of Jack.
I like Jack and Coke.
Nice.
Part of my go-to.
Okay.
If I want
That's
to sip
probably
on something.
Yeah, I think that was my first alcoholic beverage ever. Yeah.
My first alcoholic beverage was a Corona, and Corona's disgusting.
Light or the regular one?
I think it was the regular one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's less bad because they're light. Damn, light gives me a fucking headache.
Gross. It's like too yeasty, or I don't know what the word is. That's nasty.
But it's funny because even
Yeasty sounds nasty, but I actually like the regular.
you say it that way. Yeah.
I know.
Like somebody said yesterday, like yeah, your first, it doesn't matter what it is, your first beer is always nasty.
Well, you have to build a taste for beer.
Right. Like you have to appreciate it. Come to appreciate it.
But yeah, like now that I've had beer, like you could taste the different things that they do in the different
Yeah.
beers.
Especially in today's world, craft beers are all the thing. So you
Yeah.
get to try from the
I
IPAs.
just recently drove by St. Arnold's.
Oh,
Dude, that thing is huge.
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Freaking
they're still
huge.
fun.
I
I've
don't know
never
where they-
been in there.
I've never been in it either, but I don't know for what reason my
They've
ways
renovated
ended
it.
up taking me through the back streets and right there. And I mean, I know that used to be the HISD food building or whatever, and then like they got the building right next door, and it's like a huge complex now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had St. Arnold beer.
I think I've had it. I wasn't
Impressed?
I like anybody who would like to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Before I say anything, so St. Arnold's could be all right.
Oh man, I think they have a lot of. They're big on seasonal
Yeah.
beers.
People talk about like IPAs and all that stuff.
I've had a lot of beers now. I'm not by no means like a snob about it or anything. Like I don't know what I can tell you what this is, but I've learned to appreciate the different tastes of beer.
Just like coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, after you have coffee for a while, like you start. I hated coffee, but like I don't know. I guess with age, I started to drink coffee.
Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah.
You old people, I don't know.
Like I appreciate a good coffee.
You got great spots right
But-
there.
Shut up. He's just for men like him.
It's funny. That's the only thing. There's a dude that works for the company I work for, and like he's an older cat, and that's the only thing that'll get him to like shut up. Like we go out, like we'll go at each other,
Okay.
and like like he added me on Facebook, and like I started going through his pictures, and I was like, bro, you be painting your hair? Like, he don't even have hair. He's bald. Like he paints like his beard, like his mustache, and so like I was like, all right, I got you.
He did his recon.
He's a tech, so he works.
I got you.
He works out like in the field, and like he called in.
You're horrible, man. I like you.
he was like, ¿Qué pasó, cabrón? I was like, nothing. And we started going at it. And he always hits me like, cause he'll be like, hey, whenever you want to find that mailman, that. You know,
for your kid.
Yeah, when you find the real daddy, just let me know. And I was like, yeah, man, and then we can stop by Walmart and get you a whole case of Just For Men. Dude, he went silent on the phone. He was like,
hello?
he was like, all right. He's like, all right, I got
I hate
you.
those moments.
I gotta go. I got you. I found his kryptonite. I was like, all right.
He's probably the only guy that can say like a smart ass reply, and I had a thing to say like, you know me too much, man. Like I hate it. I'm like, but I give it to him. All right.
Yeah, that's
Hate it.
like I was the baby, so man, they got on me so much,
Yeah.
and it used to make me mad, and I just had to learn to like come back, like be witty. Like it helped me, like with wittiness.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to go toe to toe. Like once you have siblings or you're just naturally witty,
Yeah.
like it could be funny, it could be fun. But
Yeah, I think I can be aggressive with it because I mean, growing up with nothing but guys, and I think my brother's friends sometimes they get taken aback, or I like to see their like
reaction.
Oh yeah, they're like because sometimes I am too aggressive, but I'm like laughing about it, and I feel like their concern is, am I gonna be savage with her, or is she not gonna be able to handle it? And I've gotten respect for that because I can handle it. Like I'm able to laugh at myself. Like he'll tell you like when he gets me good, like I hate it.
Yeah.
But like, okay, I gotta give it to you. Like that was a fucking good one, man.
My only rule anytime is if you're gonna dish out, okay, be ready to take. Yeah, that's my only rule.
Yeah,
and
my brother told me that.
Yeah, and so like that's why I tell people like, okay, if you want to start, why not? Yeah, we can go down the road. You might not like it.
Yeah.
And
I love it. I mean, the harsher it can be, man, because it prepares you for the next time.
Well,
I think
we're annoying, and when I say we're annoying, I mean
talking about at work?
Like my brothers.
Oh, your brothers.
Like,
well, 5 of y'all.
Even if it's not funny, like with my brothers, even if it's not funny, I mean they come back to the same thing. I mean they pound it and pound it and pound it and pound it and pound it until you were just like.
Just knowing that you hate it, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like. Even if it got under your, like, just a little bit under your skin. Okay, cool. Boom.
That's the one they're going to use, yeah.
Boom. And they just pound it in until you're like, bro, shut up. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. Está hablando de mí, mamá.
I think my brothers, I think it's funny. Especially, I respect my sister-in-laws for that reason. Because they put up with all of us.
Yeah.
And when we go at it, like, we think we're funny. But many times it's like
People
we actually hurt their feelings because we're talking about like that, like just entirely because let's say your wife heard you and your brothers talk and he's talking about your family or whatever,
Yeah.
And to us it's funny, but she may not really think it's that funny. I think she's talking about it. I don't know.
We like
I respect them for that. I love them for that.
That we go at it like with my brothers, like when we get together and we eat, like we'll go at it. But like what's cool, like with my sister-in-laws and like with my wife, is that they pick up on it.
Oh,
and
join in.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like I might be about to say something and my wife will like beat me to the punch, or like my sister-in-law will beat my brother to the punch. It's like everybody just kind of
that's awesome.
Joins in on
that's
it.
Awesome.
You just end up saying like, babe, hand on my lightweight.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome though. But that means that you have a very close family.
Yeah, we do.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
we do.
Impressive, man. Good job.
Yeah.
You're very blessed.
Yeah, I feel very blessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Nah, I just like I said, I love my sisters because they just handle it. Like there's just like, especially when there's drinks involved, like man, it's good. Like especially me, like I'm more because I'm a girl. I know they're not gonna come as hard, so it gives me the liberty to just go along, and I'm funny. Like I'm like, oh, I think I'm funny. So they just take it and they just walk away. And I don't like. Again, I just love my sisters because they put up with us.
Yeah. Nah, even if you were a girl, you still get hit.
And I've had families like that,
Yeah.
you know. And I like the fact that the girls are known to be more savage.
Yeah.
And that's the girls that I like to hang out with. I'm like, man, you're cool. Like you can just talk to your brother like that. And they're grown ass men, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we don't mess with her. Like, oh, she's gonna come at you. Like, you can tell.
Yeah.
That's cool. But no, dude. Like our first upload, that was no training, no nothing, and we're kind of embarrassed of it. But at the same time, it's like I want something just done.
Yeah.
Even if it's our first, it was all messy, choppy, whatever. Just put it out there, and it's also a great thing to me. I see it as people will see how
Growth.
we've improved. Yeah.
Yeah, and what the camera the camera guy from yesterday, what he suggested is meeting up with DJ Mick, which is who that was, and re-interviewing him in a year. You know, like, hey, we didn't do you justice on the last one. You know, now, and I'm pretty sure we'll have a different, better setup than we have now, and re-interview and touch base on what he's done. So, I mean, we're excited. We got 6. About 6.
I would say 6 and 8 because
Yeah,
I
6.
count his because it was
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, we got 6 to 8 interviews done. We have some other ones lined up. It's going. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's just like now. I mean,
Yeah.
to sit down, enjoy, talk with friends. You know, people that we haven't like. We interviewed a barbershop in the Heights. Like we actually went to high school together, and we didn't know him. And by the mid conversation, we were friends. Like just sitting there talking bullshit, and people just. You know.
Yeah.
That's how it
Knowing
happens.
the area, knowing the same people, you know,
That's cool.
same struggle sort of deal. It is cool.
That's real cool.
Audio sync.
I want to do it. Let me be a backup
Oh, yeah.
clapper.
Backup clapper.
You gotta bring your clarinet. You can play like 3 notes.
I like how y'all are entertaining my fucking bullshit. Thanks, guys.
You don't hear the clarinet.
Whatever.
Oh, it's cute.
What instrument is that?
It was funny because we had a song that was a go-to band song. I can't remember the name of it right now, but our section we would have to make up something because we would be drowned out. So I remember we were like, well, fuck it, let's do the squeakiest sound we can make. And that was, I think, what was that one song? It was called Final Countdown. That's what it was. It was Final Countdown. And so it was like, we were 3 clarinets. Like, even though we had like 10 clarinets, only 3 was fucking actually played.
Yeah.
So whenever the whole band was playing it, you couldn't hear our part. But we had a pretty cool part.
Y'all made
And
it.
so we made it cool. Yeah, we're like, let's fucking squeak the shit out of this. But it sounded pretty cool though.
To
To
y'all.
y'all.
Band director was like,
No, they actually we were not allowed to play that song after a while. Yeah.
So if you're just starting in band, consider changing instrument if you
No, there's a lot of cool people, leadership positions that play clarinet. Shut up. I'm trying to sugar it up. No, the sax is pretty cool though.
They did become presidents, right? Like band presidents.
Yes, I did become a band president. Anyways, saxophone players though.
I did become a band president.
I did become a band president. I was very proud of that.
Started with a clarinet, became band president.
Started from the clarinet, now we're here.
That's right. No, but I give lots of props to saxophone, to the instrument. There's a lot of things you can do with it. It goes along with many genres of music. You know, from Tejano to cumbias
versatile
to jazz to like anything. You know, you can't do many things with the flute or a clarinet. Dude, the fact that even a harmonica can do more than clarinet, like, pisses me off.
Hey, harmonicas are dope.
They are. I've always wanted, like, I have one because I like the rawness of the harmonica. Because all it is your breath.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And to me, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's dope. It was real.
Sounds
cool.
very nerdy.
You hungry?
I think it's a beer.
Huh?
Yeah. You're making it sound better. That's funny.
We're in an enclosed area. So.
You hear everything.
Soundproofed and everything. It's contained. But what was
like if there's somebody watching that's considering to get into production or producing their own beats, maybe they've dabbled and you said garage band,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I started with.
So what would be maybe there's somebody that doesn't identify with it yet. What would you suggest to somebody starting off and saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, you start maybe. What would you suggest somebody starting to try to get into producing?
I would say study. Like, study the people who you like and try to mimic. A lot of what I learned was from listening to the songs that I like and trying to recreate either the same song or something similar. And in doing so, like, you learn, you know, what drums go with what sounds match with what. You learn about like layering, you learn about where to cut certain parts out, things like that.
is there a producer that you kind of aspire, or I guess what are you learning?
That I look up to.
Yeah, maybe not just look up to,
Or
but
that influenced me.
yes, there you go.
Oh, there was a lot.
Is there a main one that you say like that's the one?
Or maybe not have to narrow it down because I'm sure that's probably going to be difficult. But who inspired you?
Like Timberland was a huge
Okay.
inspiration for me. Pharrell, like the Neptunes,
Okay.
Pharrell and Chad. Scott Storch
Okay.
was very inspirational.
Scott Storch plays with who? Because I know who the other ones were. but-
Scott Storch has done anything like from the early 2000s, like was probably done by Scott Storch.
Hip hop based, right? You mean?
Hip hop, R&B.
Okay.
Like Me, Myself, and I, Beyonce.
Okay.
He did that.
Really?
Yeah. He did Lean Back for Fat Joe.
Okay.
He
You worked with
did-
Ja Rule in them? Because I know they were big at that time. Shanti, Ja Rule.
I can't remember if he did anything for Ja Rule. I know he did like Candy Shop for 50 Cent.
Okay.
Wow.
He did Run It for Chris Brown.
Okay.
He did for Mario. What's that song? The song's in my head. I just can't remember the title of it. But he
Mario Boyfriend
No.
or the Heartbreak song.
You can
No.
sing it, man. We won't judge.
I'm trying to think of the song. I'm trying to think of the chorus. But I
Mario did a
can't
Heartbreak
remember.
song. He also did that Boyfriend song. That was big.
I can't remember the song.
Okay.
But he was worked with Mario. He's worked with everybody. But like Scott Storch, he influenced me a lot. The guy who mentored me, his name's Steve-O. He's huge influence. Just
You're still in contact with him?
yeah, we talk. I mean, it's been a while since I linked up with him. But like he's super dope. He's one of those guys that like you give him an instrument and he'll learn it like in like 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so like through him, I was able to learn that. I would ask him like, where'd you get that sound from? He's like, I made it. Like,
Is there? I meant to ask you that a little earlier. Sorry. Is there a specific genre that you tend to gravitate towards to sample, or that you feel that influences your music?
Because even I'm sorry.
No.
Because even hip hop artists sample other genres,
Yeah.
and they when they mix it in together,
Yeah.
it's actually like very different.
So is there one that you feel that you go to more often than most?
For sampling purposes, man, a lot of like what was done like 60s and 70s.
Okay.
Like I really stick to that. Like like the Marvin Gayes, like the Supremes, Diana Ross, the people of that genre, Al Green. Like there was just like during that time, there's just a sound that they had. Like I don't know if it's because everything was analog, it wasn't digital, everything was recorded to tape. Like,
And you see that, for example, what's a beat? Dead Mouse?
yeah.
I followed him because I mean I followed him. I like his music from a couple years back. I haven't followed him much, but I saw he was buying old equipment, like what you were saying. Like if you used to fill up an
Vintage.
area,
Yeah.
vintage stuff, and he was buying stuff and using that to make music now because I guess the authentic the way that it generates the sound.
Yeah, there's a warmth that you get from like actual hardware
Right.
that can't be duplicated, you know, in digital.
It's even just like an instrument, I'm sure too. Like,
Yeah, and anything. Well, even like if you have, let's say, like a song that you sampled a song, and then you turn around and you throw a live guitar on it, it gives it just a completely different feel. Instrumentation always helps out, and like one of my goals is to eventually have a band. Like if we do shows, have a live band behind us.
Like also in the hip hop
Yeah.
genre, really?
Yeah, it's
What kind of
it's dope.
instrumentations takes over hip hop?
Probably everything.
anything,
Really?
anything you
Drums,
think
for
of.
sure.
Drums,
Drums, okay.
guitars, strings. I mean, if you sit and you listen to a lot of sample music, like a lot of people knock sampling, but sampling is really an art. Like you have to know how to sample. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna take this song, and throw drums behind it, and boom, you're done."
Right.
Like, nah, you have to know what parts you're gonna chop up, how you're going to like compose it, and then if you actually play on top
Make it
of
your
it,
own.
yeah, you make it your own. It's pretty hard. Like in order to take something, break it down, and then create something new.
And for
Like,
people to still like it.
Yeah.
That's a big deal too.
yeah, it's a big part of it.
Because you also want to pay your respect to, the
Yeah, what
sampler
you
guy.
say. Yeah. And so when you listen to sampled music, there's a lot of live instrumentation. I think hip hop came from a place where a lot of the pioneers didn't have access to like a guitar player, a horn section, and like string players, so they sampled. They would take a horn from here, a hi-hat from here, a kick from here, a snare from here, a piano from over here, and like combine it all together and create something new.
Have you ever or do you use just random sounds? Because I've I guess reading into Kanye and other, I guess, producers that I guess go against the grain, or just do their own thing.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily make sounds with instruments, but they just create a sound. Like you can hear a sound randomly, and they can either recreate it, or let's say you're walking by a construction and you hear a certain sound, a drill or something. They record it, and then they go into their studio and manipulate it to where they create their own.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it's like common practice for me.
Okay.
But I've done it. I made a beat, and I couldn't find a guitar that I wanted.
Okay.
So instead of going out to look for a guitar player, I made the guitar sound with my mouth, and then I edited it and
That's what I'm
like
talking about.
made it sound like a guitar.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like that's.
Can you pull that up? I'm curious.
Yeah, I can.
Because
I can. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, there was they were talking about Kanye. I love Kanye, artistically wise, and one thing he did is that he would have a whole computer, a whole laptop.
Hold on real quick. We'll pause that one where he said, yeah, I can pull it up. Where's your mic?
Yeah.
I put it up here, fool.
No, like this is my mic. This is my hair. It's all connected. You can't see it because of my hair. I did it on purpose. It's in my ear.
The mic.
It's part of the thing. It sounds really good.
Okay.
It's an LG phone, man. Get with the technology.
I was like, man, this is something shit. I'm the one that has to work with this shit. That's
Yeah, I know.
fine.
He heard it.
Okay.
He can vouch for it.
Okay.
Yeah, the first thing that I heard, the one that she had in her ear, sounded good.
Yeah.
I don't see the mic though. That's funny.
It is funny, but it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technology.
Technology. It's called LG.
So yeah, he said you can pull it up and then
You're talking about Kanye.
Yeah, so
on
one of the
Kanye's.
things, he had a whole computer, a whole laptop. And he mentioned in one of his songs, like, fuck you motherfucker who stole my laptop. And he said that he had just thousands of sounds that he just found. Like, he would just hear and he would just recreate it or
Record.
record.
Yeah.
And he would implement them into music, and it's like you're never gonna hear this sound from anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and I think to me that was impressive, but kind of answer the question like, how do you do it? And to me, like, I guess I wanted to answer that like, you just make it. Like,
you do. I
Yeah.
mean,
Like you guys hear things in a different way than the normal person would.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess so. It's just you could take that song by Aaliyah, like is it your goal, is it my goal? And that song, Timberland put a baby crying in there.
wow.
Like there's a baby like in the song, and you don't notice it until you actually sit down and you listen. You're like, that's a freaking baby.
Wow.
And so like anything can become music. I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I want to take a car alarm and like put it into a beat. But
wait, hold on. So you're saying you can make Maribel's clarinet?
I probably
Don't
could.
be a hater, man. What are you being a hater for? I'm gonna pull out my clarinet and brandish it up for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tag both of y'all in it.
But like, yeah,
That's legit.
I mean, as you hear a lot of tracks, like ASAP Ferg has a song out. It's called Plain Jane, and in the beginning it sounds like percussion, but like it's actually a train track. Like
Okay.
the producer who produced it, like he was riding on the subway and he heard like the subway sound. He was like, "Oh, this would be dope," and he went in. He looked for subway sounds, or I don't know if he recorded it himself. But like he implemented it and manipulated it to where it sounded like percussion.
There was a Blink-182 album. I think it was one with a happy face on it. I can't remember the name of the album. And on one of the songs, they described who was it? The main singer. They built a small room in the studio, like a cardboard room, to create a certain sound. And they used like he said it was like kitchen utensils. And in the song, it's like, I mean, it's talking about spaceship and stuff. Like, I don't know what it was talking about, but it's amazing. When I go back and hear it, I'm like, I can just picture everything that they're doing to create this sound.
Well, it's like we did. If you hear Thus Far, we have a skit
Okay.
in there, and in the skit, it's Devontae walking into a corner store, and I played the guy in the corner store, or like the clerk.
Okay.
And he's going in to get some gas. But what builds it is all the sound that we added into it, the ambiance, the background music, the people sounding like they're chattering, and the things like that. We've done that. Like that's one thing that I learned, like from Steve-O. There was a song we were working on, and they wanted to make it sound like there was a crowd, and so all we did was put the mic in the middle of the room,
Okay.
and we just started saying random stuff. Oh, did you see the game? Or oh, blah 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 blah. And then all right, go to the next track. And we'll record it and record over it, doing the same thing over and over again, saying different things. And we're doing dumb stuff,
Right.
like like screaming and stuff like that.
But just make
it sound. But then after like it was we were done. He went back and he mixed it, and it sounded like you were in a mall.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so like.
That's awesome.
Now, like you can go, like there's people who do this and they create sound packs, so you can go and just look for stuff and add it,
Okay.
and like it adds a different
Vibe.
yeah, it gives a different vibe. We have a song on February where like Devontae had an idea. He was like, I want to do a bridge. He goes, but I want to make it sound like a phone call. And we're like, okay. So he called his cousin. She left a voicemail on his phone, and then we went back, replayed the voicemail, and then we left it like, to delete this message, press 1, and then we cut it off, and then we added it to the song.
Sweet.
So it gives it a whole different vibe and stuff like that. Like creativity is limitless.
Right.
Like it's all about how far you want to take it and how much work you're really willing to put into it.
What's the weirdest thing you've done to create a sound?
The weirdest thing I've done to create a sound.
That's a good question, right?
That is a good question. I don't know. I'd have to get back to you. I think most recently is like doing my own guitar noise. That was crazy. Like manipulating it to the point where he couldn't
Sounded
tell that it
legit.
was a
Right,
guitar. Yeah,
right.
that it was me. like it sounded like a guitar. Like
Can you do it right now? Like, what was the what?
I could pull it up, but I mean, all I did, I was like boom, waka, boom, waka, boom, waka.
Oh, okay.
Like I did something like that.
Okay.
But then I went back and I edited it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I actually found somebody just strumming, like not hitting notes, but just like, and I put it under it, right under it, and it sounds like a guitar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pull it up. So like this is a song that I sampled. I don't know if y'all ever heard Flowetry. All you gotta do is say yes. So I sampled the piano part.
Okay.
From the beginning, but then like I manipulated it throughout the beat. Like I'll play it for you. That's the only thing I don't like. I have so much on here, it takes forever sometimes.
You have an external hard drive?
I do have an external hard drive.
Now, when it comes to the video, the music video, do you have any part in that or no?
No.
Oh,
I that's like Devontae and the videographer. They come together and they hash out a vision that they have for the video.
Okay. Just because, you know, from what I see here, it's almost the same concept of layering, putting shit together. But of course, with the video, it's way different. You know, it gets more complicated, or not really. It's just different.
Yeah, it's a different monster.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of here, I'm like, that's complicated. You have different sounds, and you're creating just one sound. Compared to, you know, doing the podcast, it's like we got the audio and then we got the visual.
Yeah.
You know, but you here, it's like.
But it's still
all
something
of it's audio.
You have to piece together still.
Right.
So like I started out with this. Right.
That's the piano sample.
Yeah. But then I manipulated it and I did this. I created a pad for under it. So together.
So as a producer, you add more to it, another layer to it.
Well, you build around it. Like for this specific beat, I started out with this, right? So, and I also played the bass. So.
Okay.
But so I was listening to it and I was like, man, I want to have a guitar. So like.
How do you know what instrument you want? It's just gut feeling.
Feel.
Just, okay.
Just a feel.
Okay.
Because without like a guitar sound, like it would have just been like this throughout the majority of the beat. So I went and I got on the mic. I'll take the effects off first.
Okay.
And that's what you're talking about. The technology has been able to eliminate the physical hardware. That's the hardware. Right there.
This would have been hardware back in the day. And what's cool about Reason is that it gives you like a hardware feel. Mm-hmm. Like you can cable stuff up the way you want it.
So when you actually do have
the easier transition for somebody who is used to actually physically doing that. Well, like right now you had some cables
and stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody would be able to easily connect the old school hardware to this.
They could, yeah.
Or if you wanted to go into an actual physical studio, he'll know what the fuck to do. Also, wouldn't
Probably
that be?
not.
Probably not. Okay.
I mean, yeah, but like it'll be different.
Right.
Like it's a learning curve. So like I got on the mic and I did this. Okay. Hold on, let me. Well, I have another. Where's the other? Oh, it's already bounced. So by itself, like without any effects, it sounded like that. No, that does stuff with effects.
It's like an echo.
That's like a reverb. Well, either way, like it. So it kind of sounds like a guitar,
And then I threw this on top of it. And then all together.
I'm gonna ask, how does that all sound together? Wow. That's awesome.
That sounds like a guitar, like. Yeah. So then, like, for the hook, I wanted to do something different. So when it came to the hook, I changed the drums. Like I found like an actual like drum loop, like if somebody playing the drums, which is this. I filtered it out from the beginning. And then like I played some horns on top of it. But all together with everything. So it's like about layering and adding stuff to it.
Yeah.
Or just knowing what to add, or just a vision of I think it's your vision of sound that's impressive as a producer.
Yeah, I mean, really it's just experience, I think, at the end of the day, like listening to so many records and listening to what would fit, and then like also working with the artist, because Devante was like, man, this kind of gives me like a J. Cole vibe, and I was like, okay, and I came back and I added the horns, like I added the horns afterwards, and it gave it that vibe, that feel, you know, but like.
So you kind of feel what he's attracted to, and you go with it.
I build off of what he tells me.
Right.
Like my goal as a producer, working with him as the artist, is to make sure I get the best from him. Mm-hmm. And the only way I'm going to do that is if I'm able to cater the track to him. So if he tells me, man, this makes me feel like this, well, let me build on top of that to make sure that you're able to.
Because obviously he likes it enough with that already.
To write to it.
Right.
So then it's about, hey, let's take it to the next level.
So how does he work better? With you providing the music first and then him writing to it? Or it can go either way?
It can go either way.
Okay.
Sometimes he'll have like a freestyle that he does or something that he wrote to a different track.
Okay.
Then he'll be like, hey, listen to this. No, man, that's dope. And I build off of that. Or I just send him like,
something completely different.
Yeah, like he gave me an idea for. He wanted like, hey, let's redo like the Hookah song. I don't know, you remember that Kiati song, the Hookah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a horn line, and I was like, what's wrong, baby? We did, and we ended up making this. It's not.
This is what I want y'all to do for me. This is what I want y'all to do.
Yeah, your nails done, face beat, plus that ass fat. Bust it open, put these dollars in your ass crack. I try to grab it out the hands like Shaq. That's a whole fucking horse, fuck, put it in my lap. You was working all the time, my body's thick as Angel Mama. She don't fuck with fashion, over rap that pussy, then designer. I ain't trippin', I'm a pro, I got stamina and shit. I'm a human jungle gym and she a monkey on the dick. I need 2 bad bitches, tongue kissing on me. Swear they both be cut the fuck off without the scissors on me. I know how to get it. She a scammer, Tom Brady with the play before you exit stage left. Pick that bread up on the stage, she threw it on me. I say till I got the strap up. Her knees bent, tongue out, she about to act up. She want that condo with the glue, she gotta stack up. Pussy gay, wanna make her married, get the shack up. For the money, straight for a nigga, money up. For the money, straight for a nigga, money up. For the money, straight for a nigga, money. She said, do it, baby, stick it, baby, do it. For the money, straight for a nigga, money up. For the money, straight for a nigga, money up.
It's like building off of an idea. Like I took that idea of him wanting to do the hookah part and like built it on top of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Certain people's mentalities on how to produce, but each producer has their own style, technique, and just everything.
Yeah, everybody has their own flavor.
Yeah.
Like it's really about what it is that you want to do. And like I said before,
who you want to work with.
Yeah, and who you want to work with, of course. And like sometimes, like I said, we can't find a singer, and I do background vocals. Like with this beat, like with this song I'm about to play, like I did the background vocals before I even sent them the beat.
Okay.
It was just an idea that I had that I wanted to get out.
How often is it that you are the one that has an idea before he does? Or is it the norm, seeing that it is harder for a songwriter?
I don't think it's harder for a songwriter. I think it's equally as hard for both parties. You have to find common middle ground. We've had a difference of opinion on stuff, and on certain things I've had to compromise, and on certain things he's had to compromise.
Okay.
As far as like how we want something to sound, how we want something to flow, even just instruments, choice of instruments.
The style of it in general. Yeah.
So like, there's a website that I subscribe to. It's called Splice, and like once you subscribe to it, you get credits. You get a certain amount of credits every month, and it's just people who post like different drum packs. They post different sounds, like they post different stuff. So I found like a guitar lick, like a guitar line that I liked, and I used it. I edited it a little different, and we made this song.
Shit. How sweet it is, nigga. To be alive and shit. Hey. Sometimes I'm trapped inside my mind hurt, wishing I myself could change the world, put my niggas on. Instead of signing green dot referrals, I got a big heart. But then they say compassion get you killed, and you can't go back to the hood, cause jealousy playing the field. I just wanna own some land away from the pump fakers. Move my brother to LA, get season tickets to the Lakers. When I have nots, don't have none, they take what you got. I put my back in this shit, bitch, you ain't taking me out. I set sail like my nigga Trail, black man holding. Threw that Gucci shit away and bought some black on clothing. Fuck the chain gang.
What do you mean that's you?
This is me right here. Like that's all me.
What? Wait, play the whole thing again?
So like I'll play it without his vocal. I heard that like, in my head, like before I sent him this beat, then I recorded it.
That's cool, man.
So like,
I guess does it take self-control to not oversaturate your sound with sounds?
yeah, you have to learn. Like, this beat sounds so simple, but it's full.
Right.
Like it just comes with time. Like really, all I have in here is drums.
Because I would think, you know, let's say it was me, right? Let's say I was good at this craft and I already had this, but every time I listen to it, I'm like, I can already see myself just add more, add more, add more.
The truth, the saying of less is always more is very true. Like this beat, like the one thing about the genre of hip hop is like you want to give space for the artist.
For the lyric.
So like,
For their style.
this like is enough room, and really comes back to the mixing.
Yeah.
You couldn't really hear the string line before. Like I added those strings like this. So, but I mixed it in a way where you're here, you don't really hear it, and then it subtly comes in.
Yeah.
Small detail that you didn't notice it was there, but
It adds to the
it
track.
adds to it, yeah.
Yeah. So then he was like, I have a bridge, right? He had this was his bridge before I added what I added to it.
Damn. Look at what they made me say. Look at what.
But well, before I go to that, he himself, like working with an artist like him, it makes my job a lot easier because he already comes in with an idea of what he wants to do. Like this is the hook.
They say it's me against the world, baby. And since I say what's on my heart, they call me stir crazy. I don't believe in falling off. I'm deep rooted
And, like,
in the game.
all
and I
this
just
that
wanna
comes
see
next,
you do the
he did it
same
himself.
thing. Hey, they say it's me against the world, baby. And since I say what's on my heart, they don't disturb, baby. I don't believe in falling off. I'm deep rooted in the.
And me as a producer, the only thing I do is like,
Incorporate.
you're too high, or sing it like this. That's dope. Like, and we piece it together. Yeah. So then he came and he was like,
Look at what
I have
they made me
this.
say.
This
Look
is
at
my
what
bridge
they
for
made
the
me
end.
do. For me and you, nigga, look at what they made me say. Look at what they made me do. For me and you, nigga, look at what they
So I came back and I was like, man, we need to add something to it. And I did vocals.
Damn. Look at what they made me say. Look at what they made me do. For me and you, nigga, look at what they made me say. Look at what they made me do.
It's subtle, but it adds to it.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's
like-
to it. Yeah.
Look at what they made me say. Look at what they made me do. For me and you, nigga, look at what they made me say. Look at what they made me do. For me and you, nigga, look at what they made me say. Look at what they made me do.
So like, that's dope. And I'll play it one more. Those like 3 tracks I played for y'all, that's going on the album. Well, these last 2, that's actually part of the album. I'll play it off of Thus Far, the last album we dropped. This is my favorite song, just because of how we did it.
Okay.
It's cool if we play these, like the way they're recorded.
Yeah, that's cool.
How are the babies now that they're gonna have another one? Like, how do they feel about it?
I don't think she understands, really. My son is more the one that's kind of like, he's excited.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think he feels,
It's a challenger.
yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it.
She said, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
She's like, I still run this though.
This is where being organized comes into play. And like, I have a problem. I want to be able to break it down for y'all. She's probably gonna put some on her phone.
We're producing music now.
Yeah, she's doing a beat too.
How would you feel if one of your kids picked up your craft then?
It would be dope. I would be happy. But sometimes I feel like I would want, if one of them does decide to pick it up, they would probably take it farther than I would, which is, I think,
An ideal.
what it's supposed to be.
Because they're gonna have an advantage because you're gonna feed them all, or you know.
Exactly. the hard thing that I have is that I name beat something, and then we record a song to it, and I don't rename the beat. I just like leave the session,
save it, yeah,
as it was. I just wanted to like break it down for y'all. The last album, like I had a friend of mine pass away, and like I made a beat like for him, and Devontae heard it, and he was like, "Man, can I use it?" I was like, "Yeah," and we turned it into a song. What's interesting about that, I have to show y'all. While we were recording, like he took a video of it, and we were recording the song, and I was going through, and like, I think I was like doing a little rough mix on it. The video distorts like in a certain part, just weird. And I don't know if that's to say like he was in the room or something.
nice. Well, not nice, but I mean it is nice.
Yeah, they showed
There's,
they
like,
showed
depth between or meaning behind it, or
yeah they showed his mom the video, and she started crying.
wow.
And it's subtle, like it's not nothing like, oh my god, it's just like
She understood what it was though.
they explained the backstory of the song to her, and it's just, when does an Instagram video glitch? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have to find it though. I saved so many freaking videos. I won't hold photos for much longer.
So do you mind if I leave you a little bit earlier, man? Like, if I leave in a few? I know you got a closer drive than I do. Which I hate you for.
No, let's before you take off, let's see what's
Okay, I'll show this to y'all later. So this is like what I wanted to show y'all, like as far as like not having like a singer and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'll play y'all the hook, and then I'll break it down for y'all. But this is like probably like one of my favorite hooks that we've done. Just
I give you back your energy.
oh, okay. So this is me playing the sax.
Okay.
Um,
Which I did hear it. Usually have a hard time picking up on certain sounds.
well, I did an edited version of the song. We pulled that off of this phone too.
Hey, bring the strap, nigga.
I took his verse out. Doesn't hear the beat.
And the sex.
Forgive my lows and wasting time. Regrets they jogging through my mind. I deal with my own every day.
Hold on, so I have the edit. We made an edited version. And so like I have all the cuss words like.
Do you have to have that in order to promote certain?
We got it was requested. Like people wanted to play this in their store and stuff,
Sweet.
so they didn't want to. Like they wanted to play the album in their store. They just wanted an
edited version.
An edited version. Yeah.
Okay.
Forgive my lows and wasted time. Regrets they jogging through my mind. I deal with my own bullshit every day. I know I drain you for your soul. Your energy stay running low. I swear I soon will let you walk away.
So like with this song, he talks in the second verse, but he gave me space to play. But we do stuff like this is he came when we recorded this hook. This is all we had.
Forgive my lows and wasting time. Regrets they jogging through my mind.
So that's him. And then like I came in and I added this verse.
Forgive my lows and wasted time. Regrets they jogging through my mind.
And
That's him again. You just
That's
have him
me.
record. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Lower.
I deal with my own bullshit every day.
That's me. And then I added a harmony on top of it.
Forgive my lows and wasted time. Regrets they jogging through my mind. I deal with my own bullshit every day.
Wow.
I know I drained you for your soul. Your energy stay running low. I swear I soon will let you walk away.
And then just to give a difference, I did a high part.
Forgive my lows and wasted time. Regrets they jogging through
So all
my
together
mind.
with
I
him.
deal with my own bullshit every day. I know I drain you for your soul. Your energy stay running low. I swear I soon will let you walk away.
And then he just talks in the second part.
Hold up. Verse 2. My daughter's mother.
I don't know why it's doing that. Probably because I have a whole bunch of stuff going on. But
See, even following country music, man, like I've seen where artists get certain instruments that they don't even use anymore. Like it's so throwback that they've had to make their own instrument, you know, and then incorporate it in the sound. Just like it just sounds so different, just
Yeah.
because it's a new sound. Or other ones where there's one song, Lover Lover. It's a country song. Well, this dude has like 13, like it's all him.
yeah,
It's all his own voice,
yeah,
but it sounds so like that, like the low, the highs, the medium, like, and then the melody, the rhythm, like.
yeah,
And then when he talks about it, he was like, you have to understand, it's all me in different ranges.
yeah.
And when you hear, it was like, man, it's so impressive. It's like mind blown.
This, like, I do this really honestly out of necessity, just because we don't have a singer on the spot.
Okay.
I don't have the best voice, but I can hold a note.
Right.
And knowing I can hold a note, and I understand,
And
like,
you have the ear for it.
that, and, like, I can harmonize with myself,
Right.
and so, like, I can create my own harmonies. And then, like, in the second part, he gave me my own space.
What's that sound?
That's just like a sound that I found, like somebody saying "ooh yeah," and like I just threw it in there, like to make it sound like a sample. Like
Yeah.
I sampled this. But I sampled I don't remember. It's a Bill Evans song. Bill Evans is like a jazz player.
Yeah.
while he's talking, he gave me space to play.
Anybody, whether it's mental, whether it's sick, whether it's spiritual, whether it's however you feel.
Yeah. So like,
That's cool, man. This is really, like, respects to you and people that do your craft, because it's like the way that you guys layer things and create stuff is amazing. And then, man, on top of that, I mean, I respect that in a sense too, the whole sax part. Like, I know that's talent right there to make that kind of sound. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Respects to that.
thanks, man. It's just been like, girl, why you looking like that? It's just like years of practice, really, of like hit and miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like of trial and error, years of like, honestly, playing at church helped a lot. Like as far as feel, like feel is such a big part of church. Like when you're at church and the whole congregation is singing and it becomes one voice,
Yeah.
like, and then you add to that, like with whatever instrument it is that you're playing, like you really learn like how to play with feeling,
Right.
and like it's translated like to the music that I create today.
I've always enjoyed the sound of not just congregation, but the sound of several voices when they sing. Because obviously not everybody knows how to sing, but
Yeah.
but when you have a massive group of people singing in the same range, when it harmonizes into one sound, it
Yeah.
always sounds awesome. It's a fullness that can't be created in any way.
Yeah, I've had like the one experience I remember the most is and again it's all like with the music that you listen to and the songs that you listen to, it's like the delivery from the artist itself. So it's similar when you're leading worship, and there was an afternoon service, I was playing the sax, we started singing a specific song, but the setup from the person who was leading worship like put everybody on one mind state, and we were playing, and I stopped playing because this is a song that we played a lot, so like
It has its own energy already.
well, it's like muscle memory, right? You play the song so much, like you don't even really have to think about it.
Yeah.
So I was able to like actually listen and to hear the church and the congregation. It was powerful.
Yeah.
Like I never had really experienced anything like that, and it was crazy. Like, but that's music for you. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, man, we really truly do appreciate you letting us into your studio / home. Obviously, you got your help right here.
Yeah.
She's I'm sure she's a huge inspiration, including with the other babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
She
Sorry, man.
there you go. She's trying to work on that madrina. Tell us what she's doing.
Wait a minute, let me double check.
I don't know if you qualify.
It's alright. No, she's not happy. No, yes, she is. Yeah, man, thanks for having us in your home, in your
Yeah.
studio, showing us around,
Definitely.
dealing with my dumb questions.
No. There's no dumb questions.
All right.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, so y'all make sure and look out for the third album from Devante and Lix1000. I mean, it's exciting, man. We definitely want to. Oh, she wants Betty.
I know. Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, we look forward to hearing what's going to be happening in the next months, man. It's
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah. That's going to wrap it up for today, guys. This is Let's Grab Drink Podcast. Make sure and subscribe. Hit that like button. It helps us out a whole bunch. And make sure and also follow Lix on social medias.
Lix_1000.
Yeah.
Instagram.
on Instagram.
There you go. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye bye.